This week's episode of The Friend Zone is brought to you by Form. Form is the first women's prestige hair care collection to celebrate beauty in all of its forms. Designed for all hair textures, the Form collection minimizes guesswork and makes hair care simpler by offering personal regimens designed for individual hair needs. Get 10% off of your entire order when you visit formbeauty.com/friendzone. That's FORM beauty.com/friendzone, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
Welcome to the Friend Zone.
Every time I'm in the zone.
My name is Dustin.
I'm Francesca, also known as HeyFranHey.
My name is Assante.
This is the Friend Zone. Let's start the show.
I'm in the zone.
Oh, you mean you want me to rap? Oh, you mean you want me to tap? Oh, them drugs are straight in the trap. Oh, them kids are straight acting bad. Oh, them kids know I'm not their dad. Every baby mama's mad. Everybody still crouch and grab. Well, I walk the streets, I'm kind of famous. Everybody know that is the lamest thing anybody ever could say. My name is Dustin Ross. I say, hey, walk in the room and get noticed. Everybody get put on notice. Joy T see what my focus is when I start my new shit, kids. That's right, stay tuned, because I'm going to be on your television soon. Like in a week, feeling like my shit don't stink. Yeah, right, just a peek into what I'm capable of. Just like that glove. If it don't fit, you must quit. Nigga, just get out my business. Witness. Courtroom. I'm sick of power boom. Every week make me mad. Them damn kids look so sad. That little boy up and grabbed his sister and he said, Ghost is my daddy. And if you think I ain't sadly, I'm gonna have to remind you of my pedigree. My mama named Tasha with a T. Go Asante. I feel better already.
My mama named Tasha.
Tasha with a T.
I'm dead. My mama named Tasha
Tasha
with a T.
See, it's unforgettable. Unforgettable.
What am I supposed to do after that?
See?
What am I
game
supposed to do after
changing bars, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, you gonna hold me down, friend? You gonna do the big parts?
Oh, yeah, I got my face hurting already.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did enough with the beat this week. I was doing enough. The production, if you was really listening, I was doing some switch ups in there.
Okay.
The loops was getting a little fruity. Okay, for those of y'all that know them little apps and things. Okay, producers, reach out. Got them ideas on deck.
That's right. Jukebox.
Jukebox Jones, they call me.
Okay.
Speaking of, I want to go on the goddamn beat Spotify, beat Shazam.
Yeah, me too. Yo.
Somebody got to reach out.
Oh, the show.
Hell yes.
Is it still good?
Hell yes. Jamie Foxx be up there hosting his ass off, and the show is fun as fuck.
They gonna be broke messing with me.
I'm
telling you, win all
we
of the
taking
money
the whole
on
thing home.
I don't think you understand.
We taking the whole thing
Is
home.
it on Hulu?
Maybe it should. It's a Fox show.
It should be.
Okay, I'm gonna check the name.
They be having all the new primetime.
They
Fox
play
shows
songs
on
you can
Hulu.
roll your hips to. That's a little hula, something, shit. Well, anyway, welcome to the Friend Zone, your weekly look into all things mental health, mental wellness, mental hygiene. Because which one of y'all want a musty brain?
Which two of y'all?
I know. You're not talking to me, so yeah, who you talking to? Hey,
Hi,
friend.
guys. Hi, Dustin.
What's going on, friend?
How are your weekends?
Oh, it was amazing.
Ooh, that
My
sounded
weekend was
really
amazing. Shout out to Chef Rob. Shout out to everybody. I had fun. Shout out to Chef Rob.
To everybody. I had fun. My mama named Tasha with a T.
Shout out to Chef Roble. I went to his Everyday People party at La Marina.
Cute. Wait,
Yeah.
what? It was
Yes.
at La Marina?
Yeah, it's at La Marina.
Look.
And I went. It was so much fun. Shout out. We got a little bit of love from supporters of the show. I love running into people like that. So that was really dope.
Cute.
Yeah, it was a good time. Great vibes. Great vibes. Yep. How was your weekend, Asante?
It was great. I don't remember a whole lot of it. Thanks so much to Crystal Jean and her weed whiskey. And
Crystal Jean.
she made weed white crispy tweets, as I was saying before.
Weed white crispy tweets.
Weed white crispy tweets. So yeah, she
Are
made.
you still on them?
I wish.
Wait, why me and my brother had a pact? Y'all about to laugh.
Oh, no.
Me and my brother had a pact. That if one of us, oh my God!
no.
If one of us had to be at the other one's service, we was gonna make them play the Irish remix. Mama, I'm at a crossroads. Yeah. Me and my brother. Shout out to my brother. Growing up, I had fun. I really did.
What is this
Your mama named Tasha with a T.
What is this accent?
There's a video of a known commentator in the ballroom community, right?
Okay, I'm like, I knew this was coming
named
from
Selvin,
something.
and it's a video that's gone viral. It's turned into like a meme or whatever. I think that's Selvin. I'm pretty sure that's Selvin. Selvin is, but Selvin is in the video in a wig, saying leaving outside of a ball, right? Function or whatever, saying, shout out to everybody. I had fun, and people have taken it and turned it into this viral meme that they apply to everything. Like,
I'm like, where is this coming from?
leaving Daytona Beach weekend mood, and it'll be that video. Shout out to everybody. I had fun. Watch all the tweets and shit we get from this. Tweet them that video. Well, no, never mind. Never mind.
No, please.
Never mind.
Already done it, damn it.
1,000 people be like, I don't know if anyone else sent this to you.
Shout out to, now you see his friend's iPad going black. Like, you know what? That's it.
Got the mentions going up on a Tuesday.
Wait, tell us more about your weekend.
It was fun, shout out to Fatima.
Yay, happy 30th.
Yes, Lady Dubs, you've reached
Lady
the big
Dubs.
3-0. I met her way back in the day when we were both doing YouTube videos trying to be on
I remember.
The Real World. Do you remember that?
I do.
No, that shit was funny as hell. It was funny as hell. We both imagine me and her in the Real World house, especially today. Like on this last season of Real World, or maybe the season before, they were having the issue, about using the N-word and stuff like that.
Baby.
And I was watching that shit like, I would have been right there like, you have this fucked up nigga, please. Like, and imagine me and her both in the house. Like, she's really ratchet, so she would have been up there like, I know this nigga did not just say nigga. Like, we would have been flipping that shit up and turning it up. So happy birthday to you. And thanks for all the laughs and fun memories. I had a great weekend.
Friend, your weekend.
Yes, please tell us.
Acquaint us,
what you've been
if you
doing.
will.
All of the great work you've been doing.
We want to know.
Yeah, this weekend was the New York stop of the tour.
Yes.
And it was a double stop, so it was Saturday and Sunday, and it was incredible. Of course, I knew it would be. New York always, my beautiful city.
Holding it down.
Yeah, hometown love. They always hold it down. It was perfect. It was perfect. Day one was powerful, a lot of tears, a lot of releasing. Day two was a little lighter. The girls were a little sillier, but it was like fun. Like we shared like funny stories and there was a lot more laughter. So 2 totally different days, but the impact was powerful both days. And I'm always amazed. You just never know what you're going to get with the group of women that come, but I'm so excited. I'm also very excited to slow down for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I am really exhausted. And then the next stop is New Orleans. And then, actually, London is our first, the friend zone.
Across the pond.
Right, the next flight I will be jumping on will be to London with the friend zone.
Cannot wait for the Shout Out Live Festival. Shout out to everybody who bought tickets. You're going to have a great time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
Can't wait to be there.
Another round. 2 dope. What is it? 2 dope queens.
Yep.
So a lot of your favorite podcasts. So I'm very excited. We are excited to put together an awesome show for you guys.
Yes, we are.
And then after that, that's when I head to New Orleans that following weekend. So lots to do. And then we're doing Afro Punk.
Yes.
Then we have our live show on August 19th.
That's
Which hopefully
right.
you guys have gone to TheFriendZoneLive.com to get your tickets. Thank you to everyone who purchased the VIP. They sold out. So it's a lot. This will be a very intense August, so I'm excited to slow down for the next 2 weeks.
And for those of y'all listening in London that do want to come see us, it's August 5th, and it's the Soul Live Festival, Shout Out Live Festival, and you can get tickets at soulivefestival.com.
Yay!
Hey.
We're having so much fun.
I'm so excited,
right?
for real.
And we're going to look cute.
Oh, my
you know,
God.
we're already planning our look.
Fran she's just such a genius.
But anyways, you want to jump into the show? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nope.
Sandy's over here giggling. So, on last week's show, we actually took it pretty light because we were all pretty tired after our weekend at Essence Fest in New Orleans. And we were also just really excited because it was an awesome weekend. And we wanted to share it with you. And of course, a lot of you had things to say about the episode. A lot of you said it was your favorite, but I guess it's because we just were giggling and laughing the entire time.
And playing A&Rs, okay?
Yes, and talking about our dream A&R project. But a lot of you had a lot to say. So, Asante, who stood out to you?
Well, I am going to pull this one off of the Twitter. June's Rain tweeted at FriendZone Pod.
June's Rain. I already see what's happening.
Keep supporting and promoting at June's Diary, and they will be able to release original music. And I feel you, and I feel everything that you are saying, June. And with that said, I would like to give an update of another tweet that followed later that day, or maybe a couple days ago. At June's Diary Daily tweeted #wraparound, which was June's Diary. It was one of their original songs, was removed by Epic Records and is being given away to someone else. So I don't know how I'm supposed to keep supporting these young ladies if
Epic ain't.
They are not being properly taken care of. I would love to invest in these talented young women, but if...
And we were just... Asante was just playing us some of their music like a couple minutes ago, and they can sing.
The talent has never
talented
been in question.
as hell. And it's just
really
annoying to me
sing.
that you would take all of these talented ass bitches and like put them here and leave them or forget about them or just be dropping the ball like this. Justice for June's Diary.
Oh my God.
Right. Free June's Diary.
Free
Shit.
June's Diary. I want to know what it is, what's in it.
They worse off than Boosie. And he didn't even know what the hell a selfie was. Remember that?
No.
When Boofy. Same
he
thing.
might as well.
Peace pipe, crack pipe, same thing. When Boosie got out of jail, he didn't know what a selfie was.
Oh.
Yeah, but he knew what gay sex was when he seen all that in jail. He was able to write a damn court document, detail. I'm talking about it looked like discovery material.
Yes.
That's how detailed it was. But enough on that.
So, friend, what did you find over there?
Keeter Keats on SoundCloud said,
Cute name.
right? Mael Organics is sold at Target. The deep conditioner is very thin, but it's bomb. And I just picked up the mint oil, and wow. Mael Organics is the product that I mentioned last week's wellness segment, and Asante is smiling.
That's so funny.
Go ahead.
Because I was watching Basketball Wives, which we'll talk more about later. And the founder of Mael Organics was on there. I forgot whose friend she was, but I was like, friend was just talking about this. And here we are on Basketball Wives.
I was like, oh no, what? But you said she didn't do anything wild.
No, she wasn't on there being ratchet. She was very lovely. She was
good.
I forgot why she was even on there.
Odd timing that I'm going to do her wellness.
Kid you not.
And then she comes on TV. What if she would have been busting bottles on people's heads? I would have been mortified.
Then it might have been more reason to buy the product, depending on, she won
You
or
had
not.
to wash it out.
I'm just
I was
saying.
like, did I say my L? Because I meant Shea Moisture.
That hell.
Nah, she would have fit into our duality episode.
Right, we would have to go back and revisit all that.
What about you, Dustin? What'd you find on these Twitter streets?
In these streets. Well, in these streets, we're going to make a hard right, and then we're going to back on into Carrie's Corner, baby. Because when I tell you, Carrie's Corner gave us everything that we needed this week. We don't need to look anywhere else. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, Carrie's Corner is a special segment, an auxiliary segment.
Yes.
That we have here at the Friend Zone. Auxiliary segment. Okay. That we have here at the Friend Zone. It's an offshoot of In These Twitter Streets that specifically focuses on friend to the show, Carrie, whose Twitter handle is at ITSKARY_. It's Carrie _. Basically, this week, as we all know, Black China and Rob Kardashian had a slew of messy, slothy drama.
Not sloppy.
It was horrible. They had
Yes.
this drama situation that unfolded on social media. So, of course, the opiners were opining, and Carrie happened to be one. During this week, Black China gave an interview on Good Morning America, talking about her. Why am I doing like this?
On Good Morning America?
Yeah, Black fucking China was on Good Morning
Right.
America with her lawyer,
Like doing press.
talking about how, devastated she was by the revenge porn and all that stuff. But while she was on there, she had a noticeably more demure wig on, right? No, I mean, we're talking about Black China, who's known for these beautiful, beautiful, colorful wigs, which, let it be known here on the Friend Zone, that's where that shit came from. So all these girls who are rocking these wigs that they see Kylie Jenner rocking, that Tokyo Styles does such an amazing job on, okay? Because it's not him. He's doing his job
Right.
and doing it damn well. But that colored wig trend, the Kardashians got that from Black China. They actually got a couple things from Black China, but that's another conversation for another time. Anyway, so all this stuff unfolded on Twitter. Carrie and them were laughing because Black China had this wig on that was supposed to make her look, obviously it was intended to make her look more approachable, more, downplayed, more demure, all of those things. So Carrie had the bright idea to tweet pick me your legal action wig. And first he tweeted a picture of Black China and her lawyer, and he called it Law and Order Special Wigs Unit. Then he tweeted tweet pick a legal action wig, which created an onslaught of replies. People putting pictures of Deb Adney,
Carrie.
pictures of Vivica Fox,
No.
pictures of Sherry Shepherd, pictures of Patti LaBelle, pictures of anybody with a note. What's her Celia Cruz? Pictures of everybody. Okay, I'm talking about anybody who's ever worn a wig that's noticeable. They added these wigs, and they captioned all the pictures with something related to a disposition or a perspective you would have in court as the plaintiff or the defendant. One of the funniest things I've ever read in my life. I really don't need to look no further. These are all the tweets we need in these streets this week. Shout out to It's Carrie's Corner. That's
Carrie,
it.
you are hilarious.
Yes.
Tweet pick your legal action wig. I'm talking about those pictures of Michael Jackson,
What?
the Braxtons, anybody you can think. Like, it was hilarious.
Y'all are hysterical.
That's
amazing.
what I found.
So you guys want to jump into this week's show?
Wouldn't mind.
Well, my first question is, Asante, did you listen to 444?
I did.
You did?
I did.
What are your thoughts now that you've heard it?
Jay-Z has always been one of those like father figures in hip hop to me. Like he's always just been able to tell the story in a really cool way. And I've always appreciated his perspective on how he's done things, even how he's handled certain situations, even how he's taken things like the American Gangster album and done shit like that. Super cool, super innovative. So for him to really let us into his life on like a really humble level, like I feel like most people, they're like, all right, I got to go in here and do this project and I'm going to be really cocky about it or whatever. I feel like he was really like, huh?
The huge.
Right. I feel like he really was like taking off his armor and like really letting us in and showing us, not even in a like victimizing way. Like he was just ready to give us how things were going. And I really fuck with that. And I think it's so crazy to me. Like even I still like my little moments where like Beyonce came in on certain songs.
On
and
Family Feud.
Yes. And then for
Sounds
him to
so
have,
good.
Blue on there too. It's still just
Daddy, what's a will?
Right.
right. It just speaks to the many things that he can do as a man and as the man that he is. Like he's never going to conform or try to switch up or anything like that. And I've always appreciated and respected that about him. So for him to still be able to do the work that he does, how he does it, like today, and it means the shit that it means is like crazy to me. It's mind blowing, especially
Yeah.
someone at that age.
Agreed. Did you guys get a chance to see the what are they calling them?
The footnotes.
The footnotes.
Yes, because I absolutely started my title subscription. And
Hey, won't he do it? Yes, God.
But I
yes.
also canceled it, so I can still use it. I just needed my free trial, okay? And it's $25.99 because I only want the good one, the great one.
The high five.
So if I can't keep
it's worth
that,
it.
I mean, and I believe that. I've been watching the footnotes. I'm like, I'm gonna get all my money's worth for this month.
It's really an experience.
What did you guys think of the footnotes? Especially the 444 footnote where he had like a group of men, and I think it was
Jesse Williams was in
Jesse
there.
Williams, Kendrick was there.
Yes.
Who else did you spot? Chris Rock.
Oh,
Wendy
kicked
Williams. She was in there talking about 444.
Will Smith.
And you know what? Did you notice they had to Skype Will Smith in?
I know. What was that
Hashtag
about?
booked.
Like, that shit had me dying. I was like, is that Will Smith on the Skype?
It was like on Got to Be Real. Shout out to Patti LaHaye. How on Got to Be Real, every time they would have Whitney contribute, she would never be there with the other women. She would always be phoned in or Skyped in every single time.
Even from heaven.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, but I thought the conversation was really interesting because it ties into what we brought up last week when we mentioned 444 album. Just when I was me and Dustin kind of going back and forth because Asante hadn't heard it yet at that point, just about imagining, yes, he opened up and Jay-Z talked about, he opened up as much as he could.
Right.
Right. Obviously not giving us like too many details, but we basically know for sure that Beyonce she's going through it with him.
Right.
And his inability to love and the different blocks that he was battling and I guess letting her in. And he was really open about that. And I thought it was cool that he had the round table on the Footnotes video with all the men, even Chris Rock, like sharing their different issues. And I thought there was one part, the guy, what's his name that he was in Get Out, that he played the TSA?
Oh, yes. And he
Shit.
From the damn, what's the name of the show that he on?
It's on the tip of my
I can't
tongue.
believe
God.
Hold on.
Well, everyone listening knows who it is. Well, the guys are looking it up.
But what is the name of the show?
Oh, it's
with the
gonna kill
comedian,
me.
the black dude, and Loretta Devine is on there. David Allen. I'm so mad.
Carmichael Show.
The Carmichael Show.
Okay. Which
What's
is
his
canceled,
name?
isn't
Yeah, after
it
3
canceled?
seasons.
Damn, I heard it was hilarious. Damn. So he was on it too, and there was one part where he said
Lil Rel.
Yes.
Lil Rel, who was actually at the Insecure
Yes,
party too.
he was there too,
It was
yep.
cool to see him. He was very, very nice. But he was saying that the part that frustrates him about when you mess up is that your girl won't leave you when you mess up. She'll stay with you, be frustrated, get angry, tap out, and then when you finally get your shit together, that's when she's like, I can't do this no more. And he's like, why didn't you just leave when I first fucked up? Like, why would you stay this whole time and then leave me, after? So I thought it was cool to see the men's lemonade.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is
That's
essentially
exactly
what
how it
this
was set
is.
up.
Beyonce provided the healing for the divine feminine and us getting a chance to like talk about these different things that we've been impacted by with our moms and our kids and our relationships. And then now the men get a chance to have their round table and kind of air out the things that they're confused about, frustrated about. They even discussed the OJ song and video and just like being a rich, successful black man in America and how that kind of gives you a key. Then they brought up Bill Cosby, but it can also be
Right.
snatched away, and Tiger Woods and all these different examples. But I think it's cool. How do you guys feel that this is the angle he's taking of like creating a platform for men to speak about their challenges, particularly black men, obviously, because I didn't see any white guys on there.
I think that is a great physical representation of what this album actually is. And to me, it's nothing more than something that stuck close to the original play of what hip-hop and rap music was about. Rap music was originally an outlet for people that were from areas where they really did not have a voice. They really were not given an opportunity to share their perspective, their views, their feelings, their thoughts, their dreams, none of that. So that's what rappers did in rap music. You rapped about lifestyles that you wanted to live, lifestyles you did live, perils of being underprivileged and the joys and highs of being successful and rich. That's what rap music was about. So essentially it was people telling their stories. This album, yes, he touches on the infidelity and the challenges that him and his wife faced and them being able to move past that, but it touches on so many things. His relationship with his mom, his views as a black businessman, his views as a black man in America that's understanding economics from a completely different place now that he has amassed a certain level of wealth, him as a father, him as a son, him as... just so many things. Kill Jay-Z. You talking about a theme? So this album essentially is just him really becoming raw and getting back to the roots of hip-hop, which is telling your perspective and your feelings freely because you now are literally taking ownership of your platform. That's why I think this album is resonating so well with hip-hop heads all over the world. People can say that he's old. 50 Cent said it's too smart, which to me makes it seem like he too dumb. You know, I would never say something was too smart. What is that saying about you?
He said the album was
yeah,
too
he
smart?
said 444 was too smart, friend. 50 Cent. Which I guess now we know there was never an S on the end of cents.
Oh my God. But does he mean too smart as in a good idea or too
No,
smart like
he meant
didn't
too
get
smart
it?
like people won't, the masses won't get it because it's too smart.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very much so.
So, but that's anytime you can do that and ruffle those kind of feathers. Future, who Jay-Z actually, if you really get into the lyric, he was actually saying that he understood Future's pain. You know what I'm saying? He understood that would be something that would be an uncomfortable process for you to go through as a dad, watching your child play with someone else because you know that the other person is there simply because you know you were at fault. You know, that's the space he was thinking of. If Future's so dumb and not paying attention, he just said, oh, whatever. You talking about us having money on the gram. So he gets on Snapchat and puts money to his face and says, you ain't got the juice like that. Totally missing the point when he was on your side, dumb. But the fact that the album has that kind of impact, it makes me excited as a hip-hop fan. I love this. Look how long I've been talking. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is great. So that's why I love 444. It's back to the roots. This is what we need more of, honestly.
Yes.
I agree. I think the vulnerability has kind of been lost in hip hop. At least, you know, with this mumble rap. And that's no shade to it. I'm actually a fan of everything. I'm a fan of whatever people like. But I do think there needs to be balance. And I feel like the only person that has been talking about anything has been like, what, Kendrick. J. Cole,
Cash Down.
Absol. I know he's like usually pretty honest in his music.
Blue Ivy. Now.
Right. The #1 rapper. But I will say watching, and I know you watched them, Asante, watching the footnotes amazed me watching Jay-Z be so open because I'm like, I'm not used to seeing him without his coolness on, if that makes sense. And not saying that him being open makes him uncool.
Right.
But I know Jay-Z, the persona, but I felt like in these videos you're seeing Sean Carter.
And you know what? I think the way they were able to capture that is how they did how they made everybody just a man. Like all you hear is talking to open. Chris Tucker, he's just talking. Chris Rock, he's just talking to open. Like Anthony Anderson at one point is in there. He's talking about how he's openly,
his part
how he was selfish
real.
and like, you know, a lot of those themes he had to revisit in relationships. And to see all these black men just talking with all of their cool taken off. And then you throw Jay-Z in there and it's like, this is riveting. Like it was a masterpiece to watch. And even Kendrick on there every time I see Kendrick speak, he talks about, you know, revisiting these moments and sitting in them. And so like 444, Kill Jay-Z, definitely a moment. 444, like definitely a moment because, I mean, the whole thing is moments. But specifically when he's talking about, telling him about Santa Claus, the mask off and stuff like that. And it's like fucked up because...
The Tooth Fairy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like it's fucked up because, you know, you deal with, as a man, feelings. And I forgot who it was in the movie that said something about, because we're men, we're supposed to just take it on the chin or it's supposed to be like, oh, well, that's a man. And so to hear to hear Jay-Z, like, as a dad, talk about, oh, that's a man. Like, but yeah, like, he's the man, but still, like, there are all these feelings and emotions that we don't think about when we're out here riding for Beyonce. Like, oh my God, like, F Jay-Z, da-da-da-da. Like, that's still Blue Ivy's father. Like, he still got to deal with that. And then to look back on relationships with my dad, too, it was like, if he talking about he don't know what to do to rebuild these relationships when he met his dad, like, nobody knew, nobody had the science. So it was giving me strength to be like, well, damn, as I'm going through this too, even Jay motherfucking Z the Great took off his cool and he's talking about that shit.
And I love that part where he said when he first met his dad, or I guess they were repairing their relationship, he thought, like, now I'll be able to love. Like, this was the missing piece. Then he said the next step is like, okay, but how? Like, how do you do it? And he said that he thought it would be easy to figure out, but it's just been like a lifelong journey of him figuring it out. But just even here, and you know me, because this is literally my life work. Right. So to hear him saying this, or even the part where I'm not familiar with his name, it's not coming to me, the basketball player that was talking.
Yeah, it's gonna wrong person.
Is it like CP3 or something? I don't
Chris
know if
Paul?
Chris Paul. Okay, so I was right. I just kind of remember that that's what people called him. But there was a part that he was like, there's no worse feeling than when you get in the bed and like your partner's back is to you. Like, he was like, that shit is. I wish there needs to be a camera in here. We all reacted.
No cameras, no.
But you know when there's no worse feeling than you get in the bed and you get that ice cold back. You know, where you know you fucked up. Yeah, and just that openness. Like, I was like. And it made me think of you guys. And that's why I was like, for this episode, it made me curious. Like, do you guys have these conversations with each other? Do you talk, like, as men, do you talk to each other about the difficulties you're having as men, period, or in your relationships, things that you're not understanding? Do you, like, swap notes? Are you accountability partners? Like, nah, man, you shouldn't do this. Like, be honest, because I feel like women, we create those spaces for each other. Even with my tour, like, my job right now is holding space for women to sit in a room together. And what we do in that room is be like, listen, what's hurting you? This is what's hurting me. Let's figure out how to fix this. Or if not fix it, but let's at least put it out into the light so that we know it's there, acknowledge it, and you don't know who in the room can give you something that you can walk out of there feeling better than you did when you walked in. That's the whole point of the tour. And men ask me all the time, well, where's our tour? You know, how we need help too. And I'm like, I would love to create a tour for y'all, but I don't think it's my place, because there needs to be men that step up and create a tour where you guys heal each other. And that's why I think I was so excited to see these videos with Jay-Z and all these different successful men that we know just being very vulnerable to the point that they can talk about their partner having their back to them in the bed. Like, these are conversations that you would never think to hear them discussing. So I wanted to know, like, honestly, do you guys create spaces for each other like this? Do you hold space for each other to figure these things out together?
Only with someone that you trust with everything that you have. So, like, for me personally, I'm fortunate enough to have a brother. So, like, me and my brother talk about everything, literally everything. And we always have since I've known him, and I knew him all my life. And then, like, my best friend, Gary, like, Gary and he just has a natural way that makes me feel safe. So, like, we kick it. And plus, we had that kind of concern for each other. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So, like, there are places, they're rare. Because as a man, part of being a man, unfortunately, but it's a reality in this society, we don't like to be vulnerable and we don't like to appear vulnerable.
Like, the
we'll feel it, but we don't
hypermasculinity.
want you to know that there's any room for you to fuck with me, period. So we just put that wall up. But there are times where you're able to be open and candid with somebody and just honest about how you feel. So that's pretty much it. But now how y'all can just have a bond as women and, like, that's enough sometimes for you to feel comfortable sharing things. We don't have that. They say they pretend like they have it at church sometimes, but you can tell they be friends. Because, like, people will start saying, yeah, brother. Whenever they start saying brother a lot, like, mama tell you something, brother. Listen, brother, I tell you, brother. That's how you know they FOS. And so, like, don't believe the hype.
God.
But you can do that with, like, your real brother or, like, your best friends that you know you can trust. Things like that.
And do you guys hold each other accountable?
I thought you was going to be like, do we hold each other? Now, wait a minute.
I
now.
mean, that too. Hugs.
Hold me.
I hug my friends, hell yeah, and I hug my brother.
And I see you guys say I love you and stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's so important. But do you guys hold each other accountable on your bullshit?
To a certain extent, yeah. But, like, you know, my friends need to be able to feel like they can tell me. So I'm not going to make them feel like, you tell me I'm clocking every move you make. No, like, you know. But I will, like, because if you really have a genuine love for somebody, you're honest with them. And when they need improvement, you help them get the improvement. You don't just tell them what they need to do. You help them along the way. That's how you be a friend. So I have friends that hold me accountable, yeah, for sure. You know, and I hope vice versa, but I don't be having no, you know, I just be, you know.
What's the damn meme? You about to do it again?
Oh, you're so
I'm like, he finna do it again.
I'm not doing any more live memes this episode. But yeah, there are spaces that exist where men share openly like that. Then you can always tell, though, this is a good thing about those kind of exchanges. You can always tell when it's authentic and when the timing is right. But when it's forced, it doesn't happen. That's why that Reverend Run and Tyrese show, how many episodes that run?
I didn't
I
even
About
know.
the same
No,
many
I
as
don't
his
know.
letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Talking about that. Who gonna sit down and tell vulnerable secrets to Reverend Run and fucking Tyrese?
See, it also came across,
Don't
it
even
came
make
across
sense.
preachy, too,
Yes.
which I think is, like, they both came across as, like, they had it figured out. And they were like schooling you on what you need, and I think that's where it gets lost in translation.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I like about the way that Jay-Z and all the guys and the visual aspects of this album are going about it is that they look really vulnerable.
Right.
Like you see their faces, like they look.
I feel like Jesse Williams was really about to have a moment when he was talking. I was
about
like,
his-
oh,
I was
shit.
like, this is very real. Nobody is coming on the angle of a guru,
Right.
or an expert, or any of that. It's all like, y'all,
We're just
shit is
talking. We
hard.
all together.
Right. What'd you think? Do you think well, first of all, the question is, do you have spaces with the men in your life where you guys can talk about your challenges openly like that?
Yes, more than I realized. And a lot of it had to deal with, I think the absence of many men in my life just had me kind of confused on how to like navigate in certain spaces, but then just becoming close to people in general and like getting to know friends and like through learning processes, it was like, you know, I think people, when you gravitate towards each other and you really want to like be to each other, you're going to work on whatever you have to work on. So like, luckily I've been in spaces with people where when I run into issues, we've been open enough to try to work them out with each other. Like I don't think I've walked away from many situations. Like there are some friends, you know, you just kind of bye. But like if there are a lot of situations where y'all can talk and that shit might be hard as fuck. But at the very least, you get to that sweet spot where it's like at the end of the day, you know, we still here and this is why we doing this. Like this is why we here. And I think that somebody that does a good job of opening a lot of that up, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Steve Harvey. I mean, I don't necessarily trust his judgment on everything, how he does things, but just the thought of, like, on his daytime talk show, every once in a while he'll bring these kids, I think they're in like 3rd to 5th grade or something, and have them, like, ask questions. Like, you know, just,
Really?
yeah, they come in, if they have questions about sex and dating and whatever, like anything awkwardly, like, yeah, he checks in with them. And I'm like, it's just cool that there is a man that wants to, on national TV, talk to young boys and make sure that, you know, they're able to ask questions and talk and, you know, have a little platform. But I think that the hard thing about that is something that Jay-Z was able to, like, see through and break. Like, you know, we need more black men that are already, like, there and that have already done it and haven't had, when you really look, he picked a lot of people that haven't had, like, big scandals, like just regular run-of-the-mill people that just happen to be in high places. Anthony Anderson, Jesse Williams again, Kendrick
Even,
Lamar, like
Mac Wilds is on there.
Mac Wilds. Like, you know, you got all different sorts of people of all different ages out here just being vulnerable and showing like we're still human. 'Cause
How old is Anthony Anderson?
40 something. I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea.
Yeah.
Was it a Flintstones chewable in front of him at the table?
Oh my God, no.
I've been worried about Anthony Anderson because I know he's been working a lot. Like he's super busy. You know
He
what I'm
was
saying?
really open on
Good.
that.
Yes.
I was like, oh shit, these dudes. And I'm wondering if they filmed more or is it just that? Because they should
don't
keep
know.
going.
I think that they have to.
I was sitting there like, no, this is too short.
They have to have traveled, like they have to have done some more themes and stuff. Like I feel like that was just touching on like a very specific set. I feel like I don't know. I'm
Right.
praying that there is more
It
because
should be.
it
And
was-
they can go on the road with that.
it was like watching Bro Yanla. It was like cool, like
Right.
you know, there's some niggas is out here dealing with some real shit that's not like real
I
shit. You
loved
know,
it.
like it's very real to us, but it's not like. I don't know. It was just so crazy to see the people that I was seeing and to hear them talk about their lives, like just as regular ass run of the mill dudes.
All men have these thoughts. All men have these feelings. All men have these emotions. But the name of the game is who's going to be able to pretend like everything is okay the best.
Damn.
That's how you be a man.
I feel like
so. This is nothing new.
Every
This
man is go
just-
second.
Right. And hello.
Every man is go second.
Hello to the kitty. Good night to the cat. My thing is this, though, right? Like, this is not even a departure from the bravado or the, I guess, the big nature of the personalities when it comes to rappers. This is ultimate. This is like the ultimate cool. You talking about not giving a fuck. This is the most that you cannot. Like, I am so confident in where I'm at in my life. I am so confident in the work that I've put in and done. I'm so confident in, my family understanding that I love them, that I can share these things and I don't give a fuck who knows it and how they feel about it. And it's not going to affect my image. It's not going to affect my impact. It's only going to make it better. That's the ultimate cool. So I think that even though this is such a departure from what is common for us when it comes to what we get from rap artists or people in hip hop, ultimately it's really him sticking to the basic script of what rap and hip hop is all about.
Right.
And I think that's why it's so magical. It's, and it's not even about like choruses. It's not about, catchy hooks. Some of these songs don't even have features. They're not even structured like a traditional song.
Right.
It literally, to me, blurs the line of spoken word. That's why I'm really excited about this tour. Because, and I'm most interested in how he is going to marry, because it's so different from his other work, how he's going to be able to weave this into his other live shows, his other live work that he puts on, the other songs he does. What the fuck is wrong with me? The other songs that he does that are nothing like this project.
I can actually see how he could do it because he can do a whole tour. A&R kicking in. He can do a whole tour that's based on like his ego versus, versus like Sean Carter versus Jay-Z type thing, where he can kind of do a side-by-side play of like the different eras of his life and like what was really happening and then what Jay-Z was portraying. Like he can really go with like an ego tour that would just be so dope.
Such a testimony to him as an artist, because he's gonna pull it off.
Oh, of course.
And so we're just gonna see
what
how.
What is it, like a 31 city tour or something like that?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him in concert in a long time. I can't even remember the last tour I saw, but I'm definitely excited to see how he pulls this off.
Me too, and I want merch.
Oh,
I really love that color palette they're using, so I'm interested in what the merch is gonna look like.
Like little orange peach jackets.
I just want to say this. No harm for them, no harm for me, but life is short and it's time to be free. Love who you love because life isn't guaranteed.
His
That's his
mom's
mama.
poem and smile.
Can I just tell you that was the reason that I wore these pink ass shorts in Harlem today?
Really?
Fuck yeah. I said,
I
you know
love
what?
it.
Jay-Z said it's all right, so the hood better know that it's all right.
Marie Antoinette, baby, let him eat cake. Hey, I love that.
Now, here's my question to y'all. And this is kind of playing off of last week's question where we left off, where listeners were like, please ask them again. What is it that in relationships y'all drag on this need for healing? What is that?
Give me an example.
The fact that you have issues, right? Everyone does. But let's just focus on the men right now because this is what this project is about. You have these walls up in the way for you to not be able to receive love properly or even give love properly. clearly a lot of you have conversations you need to have, which is why even in this footnotes round table, that's what everyone was kind of saying. Like, we don't have the spaces to figure out our issues and work through them and heal each other. But you guys still get into these relationships a lot of the times. And I don't mean to say it like a blanket statement. I'm just asking like from an honest place as a woman who's had to deal with different men and their issues. You guys will still get into relationships. The issues will be put on the table where I'll be like, hey, I can tell that you have issues with XYZ, and you guys will deny it. Or we'll just create deceptive personalities that allow you to portray one thing but secretly still be battling the other. And, so I'm curious, like, why do you prolong your pain like that? What's the point? Why not heal with your partners? Why not give in? Why not fix the bullshit instead of creating this trail of tears of partner after partner after partner that's trying to heal you, trying to heal themselves? What's the issue?
Because we're immature, and it takes maturity to trust someone enough to be vulnerable enough to share with them the one thing that if they were to use against you, it would truly hurt you and affect you at your core. See, like I said, these issues and thoughts, this is nothing new. We all feel like this. But why would I trust you enough at 25, 24, 26 years old, you know what I'm saying, to tell you things about me that I am uncomfortable with about myself? Like, I don't like these parts about myself. I think that innately we have a desire as humans for the most part, unless we're not talking about them people at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But for the most part, people have an innate desire to do right and to be the best versions of themselves and be good people, be good at it. So if I have these problems or these issues, you damn right I'm going to get into a relationship with somebody like you who is a treasure to have, you know what I mean? And I'm going to try my best to live up to that and be good. It's so unfair to you, and it's even more unfair to me because I'm burying all of these things that deserve so much attention and would really free me. But in order for me to get there, I have to trust you enough to let you know what cripples me. And why should I do that? Why would I do that just because you're telling me to? We haven't proven anything. We don't have any history, none of that. So ultimately, as a man, it's natural for me to want to protect myself and not be vulnerable. So I'm not going to share those things with you because I'm too immature to see the importance of doing it anyway. And that's what I mean. Now, Jay-Z is 47. And so, but at this point, I think about things a certain way, right? At this point, I'm willing to say, you know what? I can tell that you'll be good to me, so I'm going to do the work it's going to take to be good to you, and we're going to figure this out. But that's maturity. At a certain 10 years ago, hell, 5 months, I would have never, you know what I'm saying? Like, no way, Jose, because so you can get me in the end? Hell no. You know what I mean? And plus, you never know what you're going to meet and what's coming next. There's a lot of things that come into play, but ultimately it's a lack of maturity. And I personally feel like that's okay because, I don't think that maturity is something that can or should be rushed. You have to let people arrive there. So that's why y'all need to just date older men, but you ain't hear that from me.
Oh, please. Let me tell you, the age ain't nothing but a number, okay?
Go get it started.
Don't get me started. I'm triggered.
Come on.
No, what about you, Asante?
Give me the question one more time.
Why do you guys prolong this healing? Why do you just drag it out when you could just confront it and live happily ever after? Merrily, merrily up the... What do you say? Merrily, merrily on these streams.
What
is it?
It all boils down to immaturity. Like, life is a
journey.
is a feeling process. I forgot who said that.
Tisha Campbell.
No, not that. Definitely not that one. Men are just immature, and it's very hard to let down those walls because you know how you literally just said you're triggered. Like sometimes for men, like the littlest thing will be a trigger. Like, oh, my mama used to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my cousin used to talk to me like that. I ain't doing that. Like the person I dated last used to do that. That like these little things sometimes, and sometimes like it takes that moment as a man to sit back and say, all right, I'm going to break through this wall. And if that's going to mean that I'm going to have to hurt myself a little bit just to give some more to you, you know, you have to really sit there and have that conversation with yourself and say, am I willing to do this? And depending on how selfish you are, you might be like, nah, and just, you know, keep something that you have however you have it versus trying to figure out how to keep it long term and how to really invest in it so you can get, you know, so you can be the best version of yourself and bring out the best of someone else. Because it's like the unknown. You know, sometimes you're going with the devil you know versus the one that you don't. And if I'm sitting up here talking to you, trying to get to know you, and I don't really know you, I'm talking to the devil that I know because I don't know you. And sometimes that's like messed up and stupid, but sometimes, you know, men don't realize things until hindsight kicks in. And by then, like he said, you know, somebody done fix themselves and they're gone. So, you know, why couldn't you just leave? But you might have been playing a little bit of that game too, you know? It goes both ways.
There's an accountability factor, and we've talked about this before on the show when we had the episode about what would our exes say if they were all in a room together. And remember, I said my exes would say I stayed too long, and it comes back to that where they fucked up and fucked up and fucked up, and I was hurting and breaking and snapping, and you know, like Jay-Z described, where he said her innocence. He saw her innocence leave her eyes.
He
like
got to mourn or something.
you know, yeah, and you mourn the person you initially got with, who was looking at you all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and now they're like, oh shit, you're a motherfucker. Like, this isn't even when the honeymoon phase is over. And yes, there's an accountability aspect where if Kirk Frost is cheating and cheating and cheating, and you're staying and staying and staying, you can't necessarily point the finger at him about how trash he is. You have to start wondering why you are still there. So yes, there's that aspect. But we also have to admit that there are a lot of broken families and, you know, women dealing with the same issues with men not saying they're monogamous, but not being monogamous. Obviously, like I said, this is not a blanket statement. They're amazing fathers, amazing husbands. There's always exceptions. But let's be real.
Right.
There's a higher percentage of fuckery.
Ain't shit ass niggas.
There's just a higher percent. And it's the same story, you know, over and over and over. And it's just like, aren't y'all exhausted? Isn't it exhausting to not just like lay your heart down for a second and let it heal and let it be how it was designed to be, to love, to feel needed, you know, like it's life is so much more like easeful on this side, you know, it's just easeful.
We don't look at it like that
because y'all are afraid to even jump in.
And furthermore, why no? You know what I mean? No. Like, I'm not doing anything that I can't control, first of all. So I need to be as much in control of the environment as I can in a relationship. Now, I'm talking to you from a perspective of a man who would date you, right?
Right.
So I need to have control in this situation, right? I need to know that you have faith in me as a leader, as somebody that you can be like, that's my man, and be proud of. My worst fear is for you to resent me and lose respect for me. So being vulnerable don't no woman want no namby-pamby ass man, you know, all talking about feelings all the time. That's not attractive to y'all. You know, you can only have a conversation every blue moon and low key on the lowest on the Alicia of keys. Okay? You would have to start the conversation about the emotional shit for you to feel comfortable with me talking about it. If I was coming to you every Thursday, if you knew Thursdays is his day, on Thursday I'm going to have to hear a story about that grandmama's house and growing up. And on Thursdays I'm going to have to hear a story about how, you know, here we go, it would be a drag for you. And you would not have an enjoyable, fulfilling experience as my woman if you felt like I was a weak-ass man who, no matter what, I was just completely broken and wasn't talking to you about, but I'm fixing myself or I'm getting stronger or whatever. If I just, all my vulnerable thoughts and feelings, I just open them up all the time, like, it would be fun for you.
No, because if someone is opening up their feelings all the time to the point that it's scheduled by every Thursday, then that means that you just like to hear yourself talk because nothing's getting fixed. that's not even about being, that's not even about being weak. That's just about being a victim. Like, you sound like a victimized person, and I
See?
would not want to deal with that. But one thing I have had to fix is that I've had to catch myself because I date hyper masculine men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember one time I started dating this one guy that wasn't hyper masculine. He actually had such a balance with his femininity and his masculinity that a lot of people were like, is he gay? And constantly questioned his sexuality. And he was like, he found it funny. He's like, I get it. Like, I'm not this like hardcore dude that like, has this mask of like, I'm not from the, like, he's from the streets or whatever, but he just didn't really buy into that programming.
Mm-hmm.
And it was new for me. And there were aspects that I realized I had to work on with my own programming, because when we would walk the streets, like if he came to my block or whatever,
no, not with that pink
They would
scarf
think
on.
y'all was
right.
friends.
No, not even like that. But there was a part of me that felt like he can't really protect me. Like, he's kind of
Yeah.
pussy. You know what I
See?
mean? And I had to work through that because I was like, Fran, this is problematic because you're feeding into why men feel they need to be hyper masculine.
That's why you're a jewel. Because
And
that's
so
rare.
I caught myself, and I had to kind of ask myself questions like, why is it that you are quick to call him pussy just because he might not be able to just like stand in your block and fight if something went down? Like, that's not how he's wired. But when it came to us discussing like issues we were coming across, and he was always very open, very willing. We would talk, like, feelings didn't make him uncomfortable. Affection didn't make him uncomfortable. So I love that part. I never experienced it. I was like, wow, like, this is cool. This is nice. A man that is comfortable like this. But then there was that issue of me not feeling protected. So we all have to like rewire in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. Especially you guys need to rewire in knowing that it's okay to express your feelings. Like, we want you to be healthy and emotionally intelligent. Like you said, a guy that's talking to me every Thursday, though, that's not even that he's emotionally intelligent. That just means that he is not fixing anything.
You know what else it could mean too? Because it's so rare that we get that opportunity to be so candid. Sometimes when you do, it's like, oh my God.
You can't stop.
Exactly. And so
you
you open
open a
up
portal.
Pandora's box.
Right.
And it just keeps
You know?
happening.
So it's a lot of risk there. But, in a perfect world, yes, we will be able to be open and vulnerable and make decisions based upon that. Like, now that I have that off of me, I'm free to do this, or, free to excel this way. But unfortunately, it just doesn't happen that way. And you are rare, the fact that you even processed it that way, because most women today would not and do not. And that's just the reality. It's an unfortunate reality, but it's the reality. So.
Yeah, and I think when Insecure, remember, started bringing up a lot of those topics
Yes.
online, like about what if you found out your boyfriend had messed with a man, and like and different things about sexuality and hyper masculinity and the spectrum. And I think that was interesting to see different people reacting, whether it was men, women. So I don't know. I think these are important conversations. They're uncomfortable conversations because a lot of us are very programmed. Patriarchy is very programmed. There's a lot of issues that we all have, but I am really excited that Jay-Z is taking this round table approach, because that is what prompts us to put these things out there and even have episodes like this. I've seen tons of think pieces and threads and people asking questions and polls and things, and I think that's so cool.
That's
Very
the
much
beauty
so.
of the project.
Right?
One of the things that I've been learning is, like, as hard as conversations can be, it's such a freeing experience afterwards. Like, not to do it because that shit hurts. Like, it's like even the anticipation, the build up to shit like that is like super painful and excruciating. Having the experience can be painful and excruciating. But like the power and the strength that you have afterwards, like what you learn from the situation and what you learn about yourself afterwards, because to sit up and watch them all reflect on these really hard things that have happened to them, but then, they're at a place where they're like, okay now. Like, and they were probably okay in some of those certain situations depending on what happened before and how they were able to maintain. But to just know that you don't go through those things and it's like for nothing. Like, they didn't all come out on the other side of it like, yeah, that shit sucked. Like, it was taken very much from the perspective of like, shit happens sometimes, and like this is how it is, and we all take it and we all learn and we all grow from it. And they were blessed enough to live through it and share their perspective on it and show us all that we're going through it and they're going through it. And Jay-Z will always remain king.
I just love the idea of men creating healing spaces with each other. Because one thing, and I've said it before, I'm done raising my boyfriends. Like,
Right.
no, seriously. And honestly, I saw a lot of debating about, like, why would Beyonce stay with him if he put her through all that? And honestly, Crystal is funny because she was like, I don't know what kind of love they have, but I don't want it. Because she's like, that's insane. Like, you go through so much for men sometimes. I had to learn that lesson early on. Now I'm 35. It's not happening again. That's not saying I won't, stumble across fuckboys because they're all around. But my radar is different now. My tolerance, my understanding of like who I am, what I have to offer. And so I may meet one, but they're most likely not going to get very far just because it's a whole different ballgame. Like, I'm not healing you and your mommy issues or your daddy issues or whatever you haven't worked through. Like, I've taken the time to work through my shit, still working through it. I want to meet someone who is doing the same. Doesn't mean you have to be healed. I don't know that anyone's healed. But I want to see that you're proactively figuring out your shit. Like, I don't want to deal with a man that's still cheating and lying and pretending because he, like, doesn't know how to love. Like, what? In 2017? Yeah.
And that Lil Wayne song came out when? That ain't no excuse to me. Lil Wayne literally told y'all niggas how to love.
Not Lil Wayne.
That was the song.
Of all people.
Put it to a guitar. Y'all love a guitar. He put it over a guitar so it'll be easy for y'all to listen to.
Even singing with
You
some
still
auto
talking
tune
about
for
you don't know
y'all.
how to love. Right, even cut the machine on. See?
And I will say, working with the two of you for the past 2 years, I've seen so much growth. No, I have. And obviously I can't say what I mean. But I have just seen so much growth in the heart space.
Don't start.
And it makes me happy because I see that it's possible. I see how y'all have worked things out. Y'all are reflections of that. And I think it's beautiful. I wish you'd talk about it more, but I know in due time.
Friends, yeah.
This is a note to 444.
Friends said it. Goddamn it, miracles are possible.
I done seen them. With my own 2 eyes, I done seen them. Through my Warby Parkers, I done seen them. Okay?
No, but all in all, I just thought that this is so awesome. I think a lot of the times we carry the weight of healing our men. That's just the reality of it. And sometimes we have to get hurt a lot. I mentioned before, like, exes that have moved on, and someone even sent me a long message on Instagram and was like, how do you deal with that? Like, if they moved on and they got married. I'm like, first of all, we're assuming that they moved on and, like, their marriage is perfect.
Right.
First of all, don't even think about his marriage or where he's at. Just understand that you were an initiation of sorts into his new perspective on life. And you're unforgettable. That's powerful. You're like a religion. Like, you woke someone's heart space up. That's a beautiful gift, a beautiful thing, a testament to your power as a woman. And you go and move on and keep being great. Because the next person that you find, maybe you get hurt again, maybe you won't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even look back at the guys from my past. I'm just like, I'm glad that we crossed paths. They learned what they learned. I learned what I learned, and we keep it moving. Because I know, I've said it before, the next guy I meet's going to be so awesome. I already know it.
Ooh, no ceilings and no rear view. Okay.
But I'm happy that you guys are I really wish more men would create these healing spaces. You guys need to talk more.
Bro, Yanla.
I'm so serious. Like, imagine if someone created a wellness tour, hint, hint, for men, where they could like have the spaces to talk about their fuck ups and why they keep fucking up.
We could start it with Kid Fury because he knows how to lay out a platter for one.
Dead. And you know what was interesting when Will Smith's part where he was saying like the OGs always give you like the worst advice about women.
Mm-hmm.
And then because they're older and it's that code, you know, you kind of feel like you got to respect them. But he's like, they always told you the worst shit because it was based on their level of consciousness. You
He
know
was
what
even
I mean?
saying how even though they older, they still like young.
Like hella immature, like giving you the worst advice.
The
That's
absolute
not
worst.
right. That's not gonna keep a woman.
That story was funny as hell though. He was talking about how his uncle was talking about take him on a date and you take him to a different place from you start with an appetizer at the one place and you take him somewhere else to get the main course and then you go somewhere else for the
Could you
dessert.
imagine doing that? I would be exhausted.
And then he talking about at the end of it, then you start a fight with someone.
Then he said, when you come out the restaurant, punch somebody in the face. That women like that.
She'll stay with you forever.
Visionary he is.
So he was on to something with him.
Old people do give the worst advice. That's when you got to be real fake and just smile and I'll be like, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then go do whatever
Yes,
you was going to
ma'am.
do anyway afterwards.
Okay, then.
But fellas, if you're listening, why don't you guys create little like healing spaces with each other? I'm so serious.
I hear you,
Link
friend.
up with your boys this weekend and be like, yo, how much of a fuck up are you? Let's
You know
work
what?
on this.
I'm going to help you out. Link up with your boys and watch the 444
Yes, and
footnote.
talk
Yes.
about
And make it a
it.
watch party. And from that, y'all can
Yes.
start some roundtable discussions. It could be like some barbershop talk, but just you and your boys.
Hold
Y'all
each
really do
other
need to start
accountable.
talking.
For real.
For real. Because you know what? Some of that information, if you get it properly from your homeboys after talking, like you be in the right places. Because sometimes, you know, Moselle at the wine shop, he comes to me with information and we just do like exchanges.
As
He's
you
like, this is
should.
what's going on in the hood. And this is what's going on with feelings. And it's like, oh, okay then, brother. Cool.
I mean, that's
imagine?
great. That's how it's supposed to be, though. And when you can't have those exchanges, it does make you better equipped to thrive in the space of like a relationship. So, I mean, open up your mouth, I guess. Most of y'all don't even go to the damn dentist, so that's probably why y'all don't talk to each other.
Oh, my God.
Because y'all want to see your teeth. I do know people who I never saw them smile and show teeth, and when I did, I found out why.
No,
and that's not nothing
Dustin.
against that. I'm just saying that's out there. It exists. So, you know, keep your eyes on it, I guess. Well, not on it in that case. You know, I don't know. Eye contact, eye to eye. Don't even just, yeah. That's it. Eye to eye, baby. Anyway, yes. So I'm so excited that this album is here. I feel like it is the catalyst to growth for so many people. It has women encouraging us to be more vocal and to
Yes,
grow from
please.
each other and to enrich one another as men. So shout out to Jay-Z for just providing something that is providing nothing but good and greater good for the community as a whole. If nothing else, just applaud him for that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And definitely shout out to Tidal, the platform that Jay-Z is delivering all this content through. Because outside of just a great masterpiece of an album, to do this visual content with these people, like letting us know that we have this representation and it's okay for us as regular as people to go through what we're going through and to have these conversations amongst ourselves. Because there they are having it right there on Tidal, you know?
On a black-owned platform.
Okay.
I love it.
That's how you stay black and protect your magic, okay?
So perfect.
This week's episode is brought to you by Casper Mattresses. The Casper is an obsessively engineered mattress at a shockingly fair price.
Supportive memory foams. They create an award-winning sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce.
Do you have a Casper mattress?
Do I? Of course I have a Casper mattress. I wouldn't sleep on nothing else.
Okay.
Now I don't have Casper pillows. I can't wait till they send us our Casper pillows. That I am truly looking forward to.
You know what? I've got a Casper mattress too, and I'm looking forward to
Yes.
them Casper pillows too,
Yes.
and I'm also looking forward to them Casper sheets.
Me too. You know,
They
this
have
is...
sheets?
Absolutely, and they made out of that bamboo fibers that you was talking about
Oh,
before.
my God.
So you know
Yes.
Casper has been putting it down, and I can't wait to get
I did
those.
not know
Me
that.
either.
So try
And-
Casper for 100 nights risk-free in your own home. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything.
That's right. And you know that Casper does understand the importance of truly sleeping on a mattress before you commit, especially considering that you're going to spend a third of your life on it. So with over 20,000 reviews and an average of 4.8 stars out of 5,
Damn, that's almost 5, right?
Casper
there.
is quickly becoming the internet's favorite mattress.
Yes. And get $50 towards any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/friendzone and using offer code FRIENDZONE. Free shipping and returns to the U.S. and Canada. Terms and conditions apply. That's casper.com/friendzone. Offer code FRIENDZONE.
And we mean it, you guys. I sincerely love my Casper mattress. It literally does have just the right sink. That's very important. It's just firm enough and soft in all the right places. Sleeping alone is really like sleeping together when you got a Casper mattress.
And I can't wait to sleep in my Casper tonight.
Okay,
That's
this is
right.
July, which is the 7th month. 7 is the number of completion. So Asante and I look forward egerly to our Casper sheets and our Casper pillows.
Okay, no Amina Butterfly.
Thank you so much, Casper.
All right, y'all. I like that. My heart is full.
Yes.
Let's move on to this week's wellness segment.
Well.
She said she wants some wheatgrass, a little blueberry, strawberries. Gail
What
said
is
this
that?
party of fries. It's the juicing song. I don't know.
Like,
Do you ever watch
what?
the dude that be singing about the fruits and stuff that he puts in the water? Like Cucumba.
Cucumba.
Yes, he
I
did
love
one for
him.
for mango and all that. I love his videos.
We got to get him on the show for a wellness segment.
So refreshing, replenish electrolytes, like just going down. I'm like, yes, you better go.
I get tagged in his videos every single day. I kid you not. But anyway, so for this week's wellness segment, I wanted to let everyone know that July is Fibroids Awareness Month. This is very, very important information, you guys. When I was in New Orleans, I met this woman. I was actually at a restaurant eating with Maya, and Lisa Price, who is the
Carol's
creator.
daughter.
Yes, the creator of Carol's Daughter came in, and we were like, oh, because we've worked together many times in the past when I was first starting my blog. And so it was very cool to bump into her. I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. And she was with a friend who recognized me as well and was saying how she'd been meaning to talk to me because she wanted to collaborate on really important outreach programs that she had been creating. So she told me about this fibroid campaign that she's worked on. She has battled fibroids for years. She was telling me how it was causing so many problems with her menstrual cycle, lasting longer than it's supposed to, like a lot of pain, higher stress levels, and to the point that it created infertility in her.
Wow.
So she said that it wasn't until she started focusing on it and healing it. She even got a couple surgeries, changed her diet, was more mindful of her stress levels, a lot of things we talk about here on the show, that she was actually able to heal herself and was able to have a child, like, so it's really impactful information that I think most of us don't realize. We could probably be suffering from the symptoms. It's actually very common. A lot of our moms, sisters, aunts, at this point, I was reading a study that said 80% of women that have it are Black. So the odds of someone in your household dealing with fibroids and who possibly doesn't even know about it is very high. So I think creating this awareness surrounding it and how to, heal it. I was reading a couple studies and it seems like they're not entirely sure what causes it. But then I did see other journals that were saying that they have done research groups and studies that say that it's our diets, high in dairy, a lot of the meats that we eat, just the antibiotics that they put in this food, our stress levels, and even the pollutants in our products, like our beauty products, which we've talked about on this show many, many times. But I wanted to let you guys know her name is Jessie Thompson, and she has a website called fibroidstips.com. She even has a YouTube channel under Jessie, and the way she spells her name is Gessie Thompson. She also has a website called hopebeyondfibroids.com/elimination, where she gives you tips that she was able to apply and help her eliminate her fibroids. Like I said, July is Fibroids Awareness Month. She's a fibroids and fertility coach. And here's actually the sentence that she sent me, where she said, in the United States alone, the fibroids epidemic affects up to 70% of white women, and it's actually 90% of black women by the age of 50.
Wow.
And fibroids, in case you are unaware of what those are, they're basically these growths, these non-cancerous growths. It's like mass that builds up on your uterus. And it builds up, and there's like 4 different type of fibroids. So depending on the location of the growth, they have different names for them. But they're very painful. They can create hardness in your abdominal areas. Sometimes you'll end up, I remember a friend of mine, her mother, no matter how much she worked out, she always had a really big belly. And, she was always thinking, for vanity issues, like, damn, I can't get my stomach to be flat. But it ended up being a way bigger problem than she had even realized. And she had like 50 fibroids or something intense like that they had to remove. So, ladies, if you're feeling that something with your body is off, or maybe, it's good to just go get it checked out. My mom suffered from fibroids and had to get hers removed as well. So, unfortunately, it is really common with black women. So, get that checked out. Like I said, Jessie Thompson has her website. I'll repeat that for you guys. That's hopebeyondfibroids.com/elimination for amazing tips. And please spread that to the women in your life, fellas. Spread that to the women in your life. Let's all stay aware and healthy, and hopefully you find that helpful. That's it for this week's wellness segment. And now, I know, right? How do you segue from that? But it's important for people to know.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now we'll segue to Mr. Music Man.
It's
What you
the
got?
music man, and he listens to everything that he can.
Oh, we got a June's Diary ballad this week.
No, that was original music, okay?
Oh,
And you know what? To that, Wraparound literally sounded like a Kelly Rowland demo. And that was the one that they did on the show a little bit. They didn't have no real music. So someone was like, let's do this.
Is it on YouTube? Well, I'm assuming it's on YouTube. What?
No, I mean, it was on their SoundCloud, but, Wraparound got, unwrapped, okay?
Yikes.
So.
Well, I'll try to find it. I'm sure I'll find it somewhere.
All right. So I wanted to do something fun, something icebreaker-ish.
so you
okay.
gonna give us some gum?
Yeah, hold on.
Icebreakers.
Actually, I got orbits. All right. So let's start the process, shall we? So Jay-Z, Rockefeller Records, right? Rockefeller Records, let's say today they were looking for the first lady of R&B on Rockefeller Records. You're the A&Rs. Who are you checking out that you think would sound good on Rockefeller? Now, Rockefeller, just to help you out a little bit or give you a sound of what they've had going on. Emil, can I get a what? Emil was on there, so she was on Rockefeller Records. Tia Marie had a brief stint on Rockefeller Records. So those are the type of artists that have represented the rock on the female side so far. Do you have any artists maybe that you think you would take to Sean Carter and say, hey, you should check out this young lady, and they would be perfect on Rockefeller Records?
You said R&B?
Yes.
So,
the R&B rock.
It can be an old artist?
Yep, it could be,
new?
you know what? It could be an old artist, somebody that you thought would have been cool on the Rockefeller Records. It could be somebody new you think would sound dope on there. And for fun, you could even pair them on a song, if they did a song with Beanie Siegel or Jadakiss or somebody like that.
A Rockefeller rapper.
Right. Because you know what?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So low key, it would be dope if Rockefeller Records signed Jasmine Sullivan, right?
I like where you're going.
Think about
Nice.
like No ID and Kanye West. When he is being Kanye West. Who else? If you think about those producers that just blaze, you know what I'm saying? All those producers working with Jasmine Sullivan's vocals. We got a winner.
That's a great pick
this,
right off the rip.
I have a wild card. This will never happen because this person already has an established relationship with a record label family. But Eve would have been a perfect first lady as a rapper for Rockefeller Records.
Cute.
Yes.
Perfect. Imagine Eve rapping over all the 444 beats.
Yes.
Is she still
Eve.
making music?
She's acting and still making some music. I don't think she's making no music.
No.
I don't know.
She's so good.
She was just on Daytime Divas.
She was.
last
She
night,
did
though.
good,
She
too.
did. She did. She was
What's
great.
Daytime Divas?
It's the show that comes on VH1, the scripted series based on Star Jones books.
Right, you guys did talk about that. Oh, I gotta check. So much to check out.
So much.
Now, I don't know if she still wants to make music because she doesn't seem like it, but I would bring back A. Marie
Ooh, yes.
because I feel like she never fully got her moment. She kind of cracked it in, but then it was like she just missed the full
Yes.
mark. I would get her like a dope summer record, kind of in the same lane as Wild Thoughts, but just, like that dope, fun. Could even be a DJ Khaled summery record and put her on Rockefeller. And I would probably have, who were the other rappers on Rockefeller?
Memphis
Bleak,
Beanie Siegel.
I don't know if it'd be any of
Jadakiss,
them.
Kanye West.
The Locks, maybe. The Locks and A. Marie for a summer record. That'd be cute.
That would be
Jadakiss and
cute.
A. Marie would definitely work.
That would
Yes.
be so cute.
Jada, A. Marie. You know how he always
Sound like Jim Jones' mama. Jadakiss be sounding like Jim Jones' mama.
I'm a psychotic. I'm his mom.
No disrespect though, because Jadakiss is a
Better
legend. So
respect
let's
me.
be clear.
Oh,
I'm a
right.
rap music fan.
And Cameron.
Cameron with A. Marie.
That would
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you why.
I love it.
Why would Cameron do?
Back in the okay, it's a fantasy, right?
Yeah, it's totally a fantasy.
Yeah, okay.
Young Guns.
Oh, A. Marie.
I don't know about A. Marie, but I'm just saying Young Guns is on Rockefeller Records too.
Can't stop, won't stop, but they did. I always had a problem with that. How y'all gonna have a song called "Can't Stop, Won't Stop" and do?
And do.
Okay.
So that's my pick. Yeah.
I have a really crazy pick. I don't even know why I'm saying her name or doing it.
Oh, no.
Y'all are about to look at me like, okay. So because she be switching up so goddamn much and it's time for her, I guess, to do a new sound or somewhere else, Tinashe. Imagine if Tinashe was on
actually think that would
Rockefeller
be great.
and decided to just be full on like R and breezy and like really rock some shit up.
I see it. I think they would give her some discipline.
But she doesn't want to be all of one thing and she wants to do whatever she wants to do, which is like, you just need to be independent if you're going to do all that. Because when you're trying to like just do what you want to do in labels or doing all that other stuff, it's fucking your shit up. Like,
You know who I would sign her to?
who?
I would put Pharrell and Tina Shea. Why can I never say her name?
Because I
right?
used to call her Tina She for
You
the longest.
messed me up, Tina She.
Tina period. She would be cute.
Tinashe.
Tina She.
I would have her be Pharrell's artist. I think Pharrell could make her so dope.
Okay, I love that idea
Like,
and I agree
remember
with
when
you.
he was with Khalees? Like,
Yeah, and then he-
even Tiana Taylor. Like, I think he knows how to work with artists that are versatile like that they can almost do anything. If she just meets him halfway and stays, with whatever she wants to do, but also listens to him a little bit, maybe he can give her that futuristic. I can see her being like a little futuristic.
Right.
They're both like
it's almost
that.
like it's almost like I saw her being like a young Sierra. Like, her
Totally.
but then her and Sierra was dancing on the same stage with Jason Derulo for a tribute and I'm like, oh, okay, now everybody's kind of weird. Like, I didn't know what to do or how to take it. But she could be on Rockefeller Records back when Tierra was battling to be on rock. Like if Tinashe had to dance against Tierra Marie or some shit back, in the How to Make a Girl Feel days, that would have been a cute little like, all right, who
But
really wants
see,
it?
again,
She ain't never
star
gonna.
quality is what we need here, and that's why
She
some
has
ships
it.
float. She has the talent to me.
I think she has. You know what I think she's missing?
What?
And this is no
Right? No,
shade.
we talking about this because we like her.
As A&Rs.
Right.
If Tinashe had the right stylist, like when Rihanna had the Good Girl Gone Bad switch, that whoever came into her life, I think her name was Marielle, I think that was the name of the stylist, that gave her the bob cut, diet jet black, put on this, boom. You know what I mean? When Rihanna like came out that summer and was like a fucking star all of a sudden, that's what Tinashe needs.
But she carried it.
And
You know
I
what
think
I'm
she
saying?
could. I think Tinashe could. I think she could. Look at those dance moves. She's
But
confident on that stage. She just needs a look. She needs a look and a sound.
Friend.
I'm willing to give it to her. I'm willing for her to get the look for real because I believe
needs
in
it.
her.
I'm telling
I
you.
think she got the talent.
And you saying all this, and you ain't even seen her perform. She be performing.
I have. I watched
Did you see her
like-
perform with the long jacket
Oh,
thing?
no, I didn't see
She be wearing she be doing the almost Aaliyah.
But that was a look.
She be doing the Sierra thing. Did you ever see when Sierra performed that she would wear the long ass robe with the train?
So she can spin
Tinashe
around.
be changing in and out of the damn train jackets and shit. And I'm like, no, you take that out. Why do you have that on? What are you doing?
She
I want
just
so
needs
much more for her.
direction. I think she's dope. I think she can do it. She reminds me of Maya.
Yes, I
When
can see
Maya
that.
had it, but then it was just always something that was missing, and I don't know what it was, but even Maya would be cute on Rockefeller,
Maya would be a cute Rockefeller.
right?
Maya,
Don't get started on
Rockefeller.
Best of Me. That's a classic.
Ooh, speaking of Jay-Z,
Falling. Jada.
Fallen, that was my song. I still listen to that.
Okay, My Love Is Like Whoa with Cameron.
Woo!
But if they really wanted to
We
do it, who could they bring out though? As
Computers putin'.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Killer Kim. Killer who?
Oh my God, you just got me so excited.
nostalgia,
Can
baby.
he please come back?
Killer. The whole Diplomats
Killer.
was like the Dipset Nation. I didn't get to appreciate that up north. I would
Y'all,
love to have a wave of
I
that.
need to go work at a music label. Fuck that.
Yo, I'm telling you.
This is stressing me out. The vision for so many people is there. I just feel like someone needs to go ahead and be like, come here, come into my office.
But so many people want to do that whole, I want to do what I want to
I
do.
know. And that's
then,
the hard part, because when you're an artist, you should do what you want. You're supposed to create and look and put an album out that's who you are. But a lot of times we just be confused. So
And
I don't know what the
sadly-
middle ground is.
Sadly, they can't trust the labels to tell them what they're doing wrong or right, because
Oh, no, you
the
know, I
label
really
is
listen to
always
label.
pulling them in a different direction and fucking shit up. Like, there always needs to be somebody at the label to be like, are we going to bring a bunch of outside people
We need
in?
visionaries.
Right.
Yeah, not formula chasers.
You also need artists who understand the importance of fixing themselves up. Like Rihanna had that moment, but she was like open to the help. I
And it stayed there.
guarantee you that with the kind of hits that Tinashe has had, they have tried. I
think?
guarantee you they've tried to intervene on so many levels because she's a moneymaker.
Right.
She can sing, she can dance, and she's cute. So that's like raw talent. But she's also the type of artist, which is so crazy because it's what I love about her. Like her mixtapes are so authentically her. She refuses to make music otherwise. But where she loses it is she doesn't package up the work that she has done properly. That's why we get these half-ass videos where they're dancing in shipping crates, and
All
jumping
hands
off
on
the
deck,
thing.
and they just slapping they thighs the entire video.
The clothes, the styling,
Stop it.
horrible.
Just like that.
Horrible.
Like they literally, Fran,
Not this hand. Not
That's how
these
they
hands.
doing it. You guys, Asante's doing the choreography.
Asante said
That's
it.
what they do the whole time. Like they got something on their palms. Like they cooking. You know how you cooking and you rub your hands on your apron? That's
If
how
you
they
are
was
someone
dancing.
at a label, hit us up, man.
Okay.
Please.
We
Put
can
me at the table.
single-handedly save the music industry.
okay, we're gonna start having to do listening parties for people like, don't put that one on the album, take that one off.
Put this on.
Okay.
Ugh.
We need more of this. Give Tori Kelly a fair shot.
Where is Tori Kelly? She's probably in the studio working, probably.
I'm ready for Tori Kelly. You know what? No, I'm not even about to get started because they be treating her like June's Diary.
I mean,
They just be like, get up on the stage and do this tribute. Do this cover for these people. Oh, you got a song out? Great. Can you do this song for us? Like, what? Tori Kelly has jams.
Anyway.
But that, you know,
got me emotional over here.
that's it for me. Oh, in spirit of Tori Kelly, somebody else that they had up on stage, but she wasn't looking crazy. Shout out to Jessie Reyes. She's a new artist, and I think if if Rockefeller was looking for somebody today, that would be a dope pick for them to do music today. She's somebody I think I heard on like an OVO mix, but she performed at the BET Awards. Her song Figures. So check her
Nice.
out.
why can't we get an official Willow Smith push? Like, why haven't we gotten a Willow album?
She probably doesn't want to.
I don't know.
You think that's what it is?
I really do. I feel like she's just, after that Whip My Hair, and then she released a couple of like more SZA-ish kind of vibey tracks, and then from what I remember, people loved the tracks. I remember people being like, "Oh shit!" And she performed on some show.
Yeah, she did have a performance.
Ellen, and it was like dope, and remember it had a huge response. So I'm assuming she's just sort of like, all right, that was fun.
Right.
That's crazy because I think she's talented, and I think that would be a great person to like reignite a label with. Like if they really wanted to make like a Rockefeller Records resurgence, you know what I'm saying? Put Willow in the front. She's young, you know what I'm saying? Like, and talented and very left of center. Like, now what's wrong with that?
You know who gonna have to work with Willow?
Who?
Ray Sherman. And I hate to say that because she looked like she could be like the third one. But like imagine her and Sway Lee, like, because you know Sway Lee be singing his ass off sometimes. So like Willow singing and Sway Lee behind that, I'm telling you.
Willow Smith and Sway Lee synchronized swimming. Look like the same person. Yeah.
And then
she sound like that too.
Tell Jaden you're my sister now.
Right.
Throw Wiz Khalifa in.
Woo! Friend!
You see it. That's the vision, okay?
Yes, triplets. Alvin, Simon, Theodore, goddammit. That's who they are. Okay. Yeah.
That's not what I meant.
Alvin!
Hey!
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Triplets, yes. Willow Smith, Wiz Khalifa, and Sway Lee. And 21 Savage is their cousin from down south.
21.
21.
All right, well, to wrap up the segment, the listens lately.
I listened to 21's album.
It's an album. You checked it out?
It's an album. I did.
What did you have some? What did you think?
She listened. She made it through.
She's still shaking her head. Yeah, she's like, I have listened. I'm like, yes, I have.
Getting the words together.
I've listened.
You know what I appreciate about 21 Savage? That I understand every word he's saying.
Yes. He does articulate.
He's not a mumble rapper.
Nope.
And I appreciate that. I will also listen to 7 Streeter.
Yes, Girl Disrupted.
I thought it was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought it was too, but I thought it was also telling because, baby, did SZA disrupt or did she disrupt? I don't know why would they let 7's album come out this close to SZA's, knowing damn well both of them are really talented songwriters.
Absolutely.
Knowing damn well that we want to listen to both albums, but knowing damn well they heard Control. And you hear SZA's album, baby, I'm going back into the kitchen. I'm cooking some more. I'm be like, she ain't finna have me out here in these streets. No. So they did that to 7. They used her. Like, that was wrong.
Listen.
She's so strong with that pen for real. 7 wrote a lot of their favorite songs.
I really like 7.
Absolutely.
She's another one that I totally want to win.
She
could be a Rockefeller.
She female Chris Brown.
Now, 7 could do it.
Yeah.
7 is female Chris Brown. You want to talk about like singing? Like sometimes 7, it could be the ABCs, and this bitch just got me on the floor weeping just because she want to sing her ass off. Like, why are you doing that?
She's a very honest writer, which I appreciate.
I thought the project was good. But one thing that I do not like to get with some of the time, as people do it wrong, is how she was talking in the beginning on that first track and all that.
You don't like that?
I don't like that sometimes.
I think I'm used to it.
7, I was about to say.
We grew up with people being like, it took me a long time.
Right.
Now I'm here.
But 7, on her.
That's actually, me and Claude always did that with Alicia Keys. And she'd be like, I'm here.
But see, I like that on one of her other projects. She was doing that.
I'm used to it.
She was doing, like, her every other track was like a conversation. Like, it was like the conversation about the nigga cheating. Like, why do niggas do that? And then going to the song. But I was like, girl, I just want to hear the song. Like, I know you just be singing your motherfucking ass off, so I want to get to that. Like, but I know she still got to tell her story, and it's her project. Because she was talking about, like, I wanted to put this project a long time ago, but little did I know my life did become disrupted or whatever the fuck. So she had the chance to say, fans, I hear y'all. But, here y'all go.
I'd rather hear SZA Grandmama.
I mean, honestly, or
maybe that's who SZA Grandmama was talking to.
Oh my
you
God.
black heifer, you stand your ground. Put that album out anyway, 7. You black heifer, you stand your ground. That's who Scissor Grandma was talking to.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give her a couple
Now
more
you black
spins.
heifer.
I love Sid 7 though. Don't
I
get
do
it
too.
messed
I
up. Like I
really
love
do.
her. This just funny.
Bitch, don't kill the
Yeah, that's all. It's
Even
just funny, but I
the tone
love
of her voice, I really like.
Always.
Do you guys listen to Washed Out?
Yeah, you got their new project?
Yes, it's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
Let me go through and tell you. I told you why
literally-
they did that You and I song that I really like. Okay.
Yeah, you told me that day.
So their new project, Washed Out has a new project called Mr. Mellow. Mr. Mellow. All I know is the song on there, there's a song called Floating By, and it's like a bop. Like it's a bop.
It's a bop.
It's a bop. Go check out Washed Out, Mr. Mellow, on their new project, and check that song out.
And be
Floating By.
warned, it's very like, it's like driving in Southern California with the roof down. Like it's very Coachella.
If you like-
but I think it's so vibey and chill. It's not music that you're gonna sit and like dissect the lyrics.
No, not at all.
But if you are maybe feeling anxious or stressed and you kind of need to like that escapism kind of ambiance music, I think it's perfect. It's very cool.
They
It makes me want to listen.
It is just summer. It's summer.
Yes.
That's the one word I can use to describe it. You're going to feel so relaxed, like you're on a beach somewhere in California as soon as you hear it.
They get very much that like Tame Impala feel.
Yes.
And if you like those alternative songs that like Rihanna does on some of her projects,
Exactly.
like they're right in that. Even I think Miguel would have some inspiration from some of these tracks.
Totally.
If you like that.
A lot of people, yeah. They've been around. Well, he's been around for a long time. I've been a huge fan of Feel Good. That's a song that I think is the first song of theirs that I ever heard. I was hooked ever since when I saw this new project. They haven't really come out with a lot of stuff as of late. I was hyped, and it is fantastic. Definitely check it out. It's
Yes.
probably my favorite listens lately.
And go into the vault and look up You and I. It was on the Adult Swim singles project that they had forever ago.
Yay. What
But
about
yes.
you, Dustin?
What have I listened to? Oh, Haim's album.
Oh yeah, how is
I
that?
thought
Yes.
of you when I saw it.
I listened. It's good. It's if you like Haim, you'll like it. If not, it's not the album that you want to be introduced to them on. I put it to you like that. But they have some great songs on there. I like Ready For You, I believe is the name of the song, Walking Away. And the title track, Something to Tell You. Ain't that what it's called? I think so. I'm not opening my
check
title, which
them
I
out.
love to death. But
I
yeah,
think they
Haim's
have-
album is cool.
And I think that they have video content on Tidal too.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
actually
I saw it today.
See, you know, that one thing I love, I'm a good visuals person. Like, I love a good
Yeah,
video.
Tidal got that on lock. I might
Tidal-
have to.
That
Tidal
is
is
the
good. I listened to
reactivate.
Balm and Gilead on Tidal today.
Do they have the video up there?
No, but they said
Oh.
the song. I'm like, I'm listening to Karen Clark on Tidal. Like, this is great.
If you don't have Tidal and you trying to use your subscription, I would say go on ahead and give it a shot. Because, I mean, I don't got 20.
Tidal is good, ain't it?
Look, I don't have $26 extra to spend, but I might have to find it somewhere. Like, because, and you know what? For those of y'all that partake in the playlist pledge, wouldn't it be so nice if y'all just started, doing that so I can give me a Tidal account too?
No, you didn't.
Shit, I'm just saying, if they look for this money next month, I already told them I ain't got it. But I might tell them I got it for y'all for some months. Who knows?
Coldplay.
Oh, no.
There's
They have a new
Coldplay.
song called Aliens. So good. You already know it's good. Like, you don't even have to. But yes, couldn't forget to shout them out because that excited me seeing them back on the scene. That's it for me.
Have you been revisiting anything?
I've been listening to Joey Badass. Do you guys like him?
Yes.
You know what? I never really got into him.
I feel like I never really sat with his music. And for whatever reason, he just came to my mind. Like, how come you don't listen to Joey Badass? And I started listening to him. I think it's because Mr. Robot, like, he killed that
Oh,
role.
yes.
You know what I mean? And I just love people that are just, like, putting themselves out there like that. Like, I think it's cool. So
Yeah.
I started listening. And I really like him. I don't know. I don't think people talk about him enough. Vince Staples.
I was going to ask you what you thought about Vince Staples.
I love Vince Staples. I've always loved him. He's like my little brother in my head. Like, if I had a little brother, it would be him.
Do you watch his interviews?
Yes. And the way he talks,
Yeah.
he's my little brother. Like, he has no filter.
No. Zero fucks.
He'll just say what he like thinks about everything, and you could tell that he's being raised by like OG people because he's like the game that he spits. I'm like, he's like 23 years old, But he's dope, and his music is dope. I'm a huge fan, so definitely check out. What is it called? Goldfish? No, Fishbowl, I think.
Yeah, Fishbowl.
I think it's called
is
Fishbowl, right? But definitely check it out. He's dope. That's it for me. I keep saying that, and then it's like, one more.
I know, because I keep asking more questions. I'm like, what are you listening to? Are you listening to anything old, Dustin?
Shit. Am I listening to anything? Oh, yes. Actually, I am. I was listening to some Escape today. Right?
Oh, shit.
I downloaded all their stuff because I saw a video on their official Escape Instagram account from their performance in New Orleans at the Superdome, and they were doing Keep On Keeping On, that song with MC Light, and I had forgot how much the jam it was.
Yo, I gotta revisit their whole
Just
shit.
to see them doing it in the way Tiny was
Is that on
bopping.
Tidal?
No, it was on the YouTube.
Damn, close enough.
On the YouTube. But yes, it was. So I've been listening this morning, actually, on the train on the way to work. I downloaded a whole bunch of old Escape on Tidal and was jamming on
That's
the way to
gonna be
work.
me this week.
You had a good ass Tuesday.
That's
Well,
it.
I have one last thing to say. I was listening to old ass music on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify for their playlist making. Like,
Spotify's great.
their algorithms for certain things are just like, you can't get it
So I
nowhere
don't
else.
know
That's
who
why.
it's just everyone has their something.
You know what?
Title with the
Spotify,
visuals.
they had me at the daily mix. Like, they give you like 4 daily mixes. Like, if you listen to it enough,
those are
they
dope.
just. Now they gave me a summer rewind playlist.
I did.
So
see
it was
that.
all the shit that I was bopping last summer, and like now I get to play it all again this summer.
They're just
So I just want to share. I have been listening all over again to goddamn 3500.
Oh, yes.
Travis Scott, Future, 2 Chainz, bomb ass track.
Yes.
And old school as ASAP Rocky on his project at Long Last ASAP. He had a track called M's with Lil Wayne.
Yes.
That was one of my summer bops last summer.
You was jamming last summer.
I was. And Young Thugs knocked off with Birdman. Hood classic. So I just wanted to thank Spotify for that. I just love that they know. They're like, hey, you got your beats on. This is what the fuck he's supposed to be listening to. So I can be like, okay. All I got to do is hit play.
Young Thug
Dope as
makes
hell.
great music.
Absolutely. Jeffrey has been out here doing it. In his dress and all. In his high fashion coots and all. So that's all it over here at the Music Man Corner.
thank you.
Now we
That
can
was
move it
fun.
on over to TV Land.
That's right. So let's talk.
We'll be talking first.
What shows are on?
A whole lot of stuff came on this week.
Really? Why am I
Yes.
thinking everybody's on break?
Because they are, but they aren't. It's the weirdest space right now in reality TV. But like, so the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion came on for season 2, part 1. Potomac, you all know, Real Housewives of Potomac is the part of the franchise that I love to hate. I can't help but watch them. It's like a train wreck, but it is entertaining. So all of the ladies were making me laugh on the couch. Charisse, although I first was irritated by her this season, looking back, I can say if nothing else, she was consistent. Because all this season, she very much had a disposition of like, I'm rich, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And
She's
at first
a
I thought it was
beautiful
an
daughter.
act. But like, right. But like, it was consistent, and if nothing else, she committed to it. So I give, real recognized real. So shout out to Charisse.
Is she the one you were saying peaked at college?
That's
and-
Giselle.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's the same show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
same
show.
franchise.
Okay.
Yep, same show. Who, Giselle, I figured out something about her. I think that she likes men that dote on her. So she dates a certain type of, like her ex-husband was Jamal Bryant. So you've probably seen him. He's a pastor.
No.
So the people probably seen what he looks like. And her new man is like the same way, but older. He reminds me a lot of Karen Huger's husband, the Black Bill Gates. The Black Bill Aints, actually, is what he should.
Wow.
But she reminds me of that. Robin had a moment off camera. Well, she thought she was off camera, but she cussed Monique out and threatened to whoop her ass. But the cameras were really on. The mics were on, rather. That was interesting. It was just a great reunion, so watch that if you get a chance.
I am. I slept on that season after like episode 2 or 3. I was like, okay,
Because it was,
bye.
they've never really been, exciting to watch, but it has been interesting. And this season was just a lot of the same.
Are they
Okay.
boring or?
Well, it's just a different energy than any of the other Real Housewives franchises. And so it's something that you have to learn how to enjoy. I'll put it like that. Because once I cracked the code and got the Cliff's Notes, Real Housewives of Potomac for Dummies. Once I bought the book, I have had a great time watching that show, since then.
So give me the Cliff Notes on a bonus icebreaker. Give me 2 of the women off of Potomac that you would like to see go.
Go?
Yes.
Dead.
Who can go? Let me really think about
And give me
this.
2 that can go, and give me 2 that surprised you this season that you didn't think that you was gonna fuck with that you fuck with now.
Okay, Sharice definitely surprised me because she was a disaster the first season. So she can stay. If anybody had to go, everybody kind of fills a spot, but I feel like they could bring better people in. I'll say this: Can I demote someone,
Sure.
or do they just have to leave?
No, you can demote them.
Okay.
They can be friend of.
So Robin should definitely be
she could be friend of
but
Giselle.
Robin's heating up.
Ooh.
Oh, so we're just getting to the good stuff with her. So we'll keep her cooking.
Wait, Robin the one, and she lived with her ex, and
Yes, it's been a whole thing with that. Like, you gotta watch.
Okay, all right.
So Robin could say, you could probably, but damn, this season, honestly, everybody kind of brought it. So,
Really?
like, I really can't
Even
say.
the young one that they hated?
She was one of the main ones.
Really?
She was the spoon stirring the pot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so and Monique delivered the rest of the season.
Monique did, but Monique gets on my nerves. And
Really?
so, yes, Monique tries too hard. She's too much. And so a lot of that, like,
This
So
is
just
talking
weird.
the
I
talk.
literally don't know who. Like, usually I'll know. I won't watch the show, but I'll know. Like, I know who Rashida is and Jocelyn.
Right.
But I don't know any of these people.
we really don't either. We
The
just
show
watch them on
doesn't get
Sunday.
amplified.
I think Potomac is like if we watched Orange County, like don't nobody really watch them. Like I think people watch them because they were the first, and like we watch Potomac because they black, but like
it's
don't
not.
nobody really watch them.
Yeah, it's nothing.
weird.
We're not invested in the characters. It's just entertaining to watch, literally.
Oh.
But so that's been good. And
revisit.
a YouTuber, James Caldwell, who he's hilarious. Watch his YouTube channels. He actually reviewed James Caldwell, Cowell. I'm telling y'all, the nigga is hilarious. He reviewed this and he said the best dressed person on the couch on the stage was Andy.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
what was the theme?
None. Get dressed with the lights off. No, I'm just
They usually
playing.
have a theme.
Karen really need her ass beat for how she looked at the reunion. At least everybody else tried. Karen had
I gotta
on
go
like
look.
I don't even know how to describe it. It just looked like a bath mat. You know, like what a bath mat
What?
looks like? It was one of them patterns. I can't describe it. It was horrible.
Like fuzzy?
Yes. Believe it was very much like stuff on the dress. And it was a horrible color and her hair was blocking her face. Just her hair looked like the Showtime at the Apollo curtain. It was horrible.
Oh my God.
But moving on from
No,
Housewives
did
of
you
Potomac.
say
Moving on.
the curtain?
And then talking about moving on.
Moving on. Oh, don't cite that. Remember that Asante. Oh, don't cite that bullshit. So, but Love and Hip Hop Atlanta reunion part 1.
All these reunions.
Right, I told y'all we had a lot of ground to cover. I'm trying my best to move with the speed of light. But really quickly, Love and Hip Hop reunion was more of the same. I will say, however, we finally broke the glass ceiling with Kirk and Rashida. We got to the bottom of some of that. Rashida finally had a breakdown. And we didn't necessarily need her to break down, but she finally actually talked about and addressed the rumors and the issues head on. So that was good to see. Sidebar, she had a really cute, like, Gucci dressy jogging suit on with like these heels. She looked good. Rashida can dress.
She's a dresser.
Yeah.
It was
Sounds
good.
cute.
But anyway, so that was great. Jessica Dime gets the MVP award of the night. She clowned her lovely Mimi on that stage.
Lovely Mimi clowned her fucking self.
And lovely Mimi was trying to like fight Jessica Dime. All that stuff that they do, that the irrelevant people on there do. They think that the louder they are, the more interesting they are.
Spin-offs.
Jessica Dime stayed calm and literally started laughing. She was like, "Now you know you ain't gonna get over that table, girl." She was like looking like a damn majorette. And she said the girl.
And then her and Carly got up
and started doing the majorette move. And the girl had on like the girl, first of all, is a horrible
She said, "You're a
person
damn
to
high
watch.
stepper." And then
Right. They got up and started doing the majorette moves, the march. Like how you march and like they were doing that. It was so. She literally clowned her. So that was like worth the whole entire night. Moving on from that.
I just want to know how come you ain't saying nothing in my face? How come you ain't saying to my face? And Jessica Dime don't give a damn.
She said, "What I'm gonna say to your face?
We ain't never
that you
filmed
talk
together.
too much and that you loud and you get on my nerves. That's what you want me to say to your face? Calm though. Meanwhile, the other girl is screaming at the top of her lungs, just trying to bring attention. It was glorious to watch. Jessica Dime batted 1,000 this whole season. She whooped the ass that needed to be whooped.
She did.
She kept her calm, composure. She got her man. She totally elevated and redeemed herself from last season. I actually enjoyed her. And
She
she
even
was
dressed
a
a little
person who I
differently.
would have sent home.
She even dressed a little differently.
What do you think changed? Because I keep seeing even
Her
online,
man.
everyone like
Love.
loves her.
She's just been calm and
She got a nigga now to tell
y'all
her.
hear that, fellas? Love.
Look, you know when you got somebody to tell you like, hey, you know, you being real crazy, and then he probably don't tell you she being crazy, like, you know what, I love you for you, and now she just thinking a little bit more clear, like, hey, this nigga love me, like I don't got time to fight half you bitches, like she see things for what they are,
it's just
but she
brave.
still serves them because you know them senses they still on. Now, you know, when you're in love and things, some of that weight's taken off, so the senses, they get a little bit sharper, okay? That's why her reads was so on point. That's why, like, because when she, I kid you not,
everything
friend,
landed.
when she
Everything
said
landed.
that high stepper shit, like she said, girl, shut up over there looking like a majorette.
Yeah.
A damn high stepper. Like, and then they got, like the timing of it was all great.
It was
perfection.
funny. It was literally like, and I was so proud of her too, because it would have been very easy for her to start cussing and fighting that girl or whatever. But instead, she made us laugh.
Right.
And so it was just a slap in the face to everybody that thinks that shows the downfall of black women and black people in general. She kind of stayed, believe it or not, Jessica Dime kind of flew above the fray.
She did.
So that was good to watch, you know, on a positive note and shit like that. But basketball-wise is the last thing we're going to talk about. It's some other shows we could discuss, you know. And it's one more show we are going to discuss. So real quick, basketball-wise. Actually, Asante,
I'm about to say,
go ahead.
Well, before we do basketball, I know this is so long and I hate
I'm
it
trying,
too.
but we going to talk about Ocho Cinco Mama.
Well, yes, you have to
that's
talk
where we
about
going.
that.
What?
But you can't talk. You can't just talk about damn lovely Mimi on the damn reunion. You can't leave it there.
Who else do we need to mention that deserves
well,
it?
outside of saying that Rashida looked good. Oh, okay. You know what? I see your point.
You get it.
A lot of the first episode of the part of the reunion was a lot of people I don't care about, and
There you
I
go,
just
right
wanted to
there.
address.
I don't even want to give them nothing.
Right. I just want to know why they did that. They had all these strangers on this season, and then on the first part of the reunion, they gave all the strangers like a little section, and it was like, we don't care about what half y'all are talking about and doing.
They didn't even let them on the stage.
Even
They were
that one
screaming from the
girl
audience.
that young jock brought out.
The whole show was them talking from the audience.
They
the
weren't.
girls,
Well, they know they have to save the best for last. Or
Oh, that's why
what
they kept.
else-
That's
why
why
else
they
would
kept
y'all
teasing us with
come back?
Jocelyn the
Yeah.
entire time.
They gotta
But
spread it
but
out.
you are absolutely right. Let's move on to the main course.
See what I'm saying?
Look, let's take you to the other date. We're gonna take you here for the main course. Basketball wives.
Basketball-wise was good. I just want to say that even though me and Sanaya don't see eye to eye, or Sania, what's her name? Sania or Sanaya? Sania. Whatever. But just, you know, she's very burly. And I don't mean esque. I mean burly, okay? Not burlesque. But and she also has stirred up, she's done a lot of things that I just didn't agree with. She was really mean to this girl on the show. And you know how I am about people that are like bullies like that and mean. It don't work with me. But she handled her fucking business this week on the show because these girls came to her party literally to start shit, friend. That's the only reason that they were there. They know that they wouldn't have been invited, and they showed up. Literally, they told her that the girls were coming. She said, okay. She said, now who's she coming with? They said, Hazel. She said, okay. So see, Hazel know that I don't want okay. That's all you got from her. The girls got to the party. She walks up to them. Excuse me, why are you here? Why are you all here? Why did you come? You weren't invited. You know you weren't invited. Why did you come? That's how she talks. So
Yes.
The girl was like, what, you don't want us here? I mean, we just came. And she was like, but you weren't invited. I need you to leave. Can you leave? Literally, the girl started that shit before she could even get one syllable of the word out. All you saw was Sanaya's back, buttocks, thighs, and legs lurching, lunging forward like the Jaguar. She looked like Halle Berry's wig at them awards. It looked like that Jaguar symbol leaping forward. That's all you saw was Sania moving.
Her doing a look back too.
Dusted both of their asses.
Literally
okay?
both of them.
Then got up and said, they need to go. and walked away.
I'm going to use the bathroom, and when I come out, they better be gone.
And that was all you got. And so for someone, now you know, that was close to my heart when I saw that. Because it was a setup, friend.
I'm super conflicted because, and I'm here with you.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Because this woman attacked two of these women, and one of them was Hazel, who seems like real nice and partyish and well-to-do. But she literally, like, this was this woman's event, Sania.
See.
So when Hazel was like, no, I'm not leaving. Like,
she didn't even get. I mean,
like,
that's what we knew she was trying to say. She ain't even make it that far.
She was trying to say everybody else is here and all this shit, but Sania told her to leave, and she said no, and so it was like
cleared it. Like, do you hear me?
Like, she's the definition of don't talk about it, be about it. And I was like, well, there's no reason for me to be mad about this. It was your party. And you said that you didn't not even invite them there, and you did tell them to leave, and they just said no. So I feel like she was well within her rights.
It wasn't like they showed up as a +1 to somebody else. It wasn't like they showed up and were there like, let me just go and see if we can make up whatever. No, the girl, we had just been introduced to her like a scene prior, and she came on and said how she couldn't stand her.
Right.
So then y'all show up at her party?
Hazel
Sania handled that. Do you hear me, friend?
Hazel was Tammy.
Handled that.
Hazel's Tammy Roman's niece or something, and so she brought a girl that was openly talking about how she don't like Sania. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring her. We coming. You weren't even invited, and you talking about bringing someone that this woman don't even like, and y'all knew. So it's like, why are you?
You can't. They literally came, and we're kind of open about it. They came to start shit. So to see that happen, it was just. I was like, see this.
You know who had me laughing? I hate to say this, but I think I've tried to say this before, but Shawnee be having me laughing.
Yeah, sometimes she do be funny.
Because she be talking with this, like, she be sounding like a snotty little boy, and then she'd be like, oh, no, oh, Lord, not that. Like, she'd be like, oh, no, Jesus, you gonna fight him? Oh, no. Like, the way she says, I'd be like, Shawnee, why you gotta say that back like that?
Only thing I didn't like, Evelyn was heated for real.
Yes.
And to me, when you are in a situation like that with your friend, if you're not getting ready to, if y'all not about to both jump in and like y'all are both on that level, your responsibility as a friend is to kind of like get things moving in the right direction. Now it's different. Shawnee was not about to fight nobody, and we know that.
Not at all.
So I really don't see what the point of her hopping back in the car and telling Evelyn, kids, it's just off limits. And I don't fight, but this would have been the night. And you talking to somebody who y'all are literally trying to calm down.
Right.
So you really fanning the flames and then hiding your hand, throwing a rock and hiding your hands. Typical Shawnee.
Calling all the folks from the Bronx and everything.
But yeah, all that was good. So as far as reality TV is concerned, shout out to everybody. I had fun. It was a good weekend,
Hold on, we got one more or two more.
Well, I can't.
Okay.
I'm going to cut it. Because we have already...
Okay, well, we'll just put the people on the Ocho Cinco Mama, please.
Next week. We'll do it as a teaser.
Okay.
Next week.
And friend, you should actually watch this show. I would
love...
What? I'm going to send you some links.
Ocho Cinco?
Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars Family Edition on WeTV. They are featuring, and they always have an ensemble cast of like celebrities from, again, reality stars. So this is Mike, the Situation Sorrentino, and two of his brothers, somebody from Teen Mom that I'm not even going to name, and people with her. Chad Ochocinco Johnson and his mom. Kendra from Hank.
She back?
From Kendra on Top.
With her mama?
The title of that, considering their marriage challenges, has always been hilarious to me.
Gosh.
But Kendra on Top and her mama are there.
They filming together.
Hi, Kendra. Yeah, like she's there. And I can't remember who else. It doesn't matter. But like, it's Chad Ochocinco Johnson. His mother has been the star of the show. I've never seen someone was so dismissive. She told him he had too many kids for her to be a grandmother too. And so he can keep them to himself, all them illegitimate ass kids, because he want to drop his sperm off everywhere. He was like,
what?
He was like, you acting like you don't want to do with my kids. She was like, I don't. All them illegitimate ass kids you got. You got 6 motherfucking kids. You expect me to be the grandma. That's what she said as his mother, the grandmother.
Wow.
That's what she said. Glorious to watch. So we'll get back to that next week because I'm currently binging that so we can get caught up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it.
And that's it for TV Land. I didn't talk so much. I got to swallow my spit and move away from the mic. Hold on. Back. So that's it for the TV segment, Fran.
Oh, thank you. Thanks again to Form for supporting this week's episode of The Friend Zone. We all know the struggle to find the perfect solution for our curls, twists, coils, and tresses. That's why Tristan Walker and the good people at Walker & Co. have created Form. Born from a global community of women of all ethnic backgrounds, Form is the first and only end-to-end system designed to make hair care simple. The Form family of products was specifically designed to complement each other and your own process. No matter what your needs are, Form works every step of the way. Everything starts with the Form consultation, a step-by-step evaluation that ensures you get the best pairing of Form products and usage recommendations. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I tried the consultation. I put in all the things they asked about my hair, about the frizziness, the moisture levels, whether I use products that were humectants. I told you it gives awesome tips in between. They finally sent me a package based on my results. So I saw that I got a clarifier, a shampoo a conditioner that apparently has like extra slip for when I'm detangling, which is good for me because I actually detangle my hair with my fingers. I don't use combs because that way it minimizes breakage. Yes. So I was excited about that. I haven't used the products yet because, as you guys know, I've been on my tour and I didn't want to be on the tour looking crazy if it didn't work. But come on, y'all know how it is testing out new products. But I do have this week off, so I'm going to try it. And I'm very excited to let you guys know exactly how my hair looks next week. I'll post pictures. So fingers crossed. But I'm sure that the products are amazing because the fact that it was a consultation that asked such specific questions and sent me a regimen based on those answers means that it's catered to my hair. So I feel like it should work. And I know that Crystal said that she totally loved it and her results were awesome. So I'm excited to see what mine turn out to be. You can get 10% off your entire order when you visit formbeauty.com/friendzone. The discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's formbeauty.com/friendzone. Remember that Form was inspired by your own hair care journey and delivers uncompromising performance without sacrificing the health of your hair. My favorite part. I'll let you guys know next week. Now we're going to move on to what you guys have for us. And you're asking for a friend section, which you got. Oh, Lord, Asante's already making a face.
It's because they spelled my name wrong.
Oh,
and usually,
one S?
I wish it was that simple.
Oh.
It's ASINTE. Like, what are you doing?
Okay.
Anyway, the subject of this one is, don't forget to email us at TheFriendZone@loudspeakersnetwork.com. Now I got that out the way. The subject is friend or ... hating ass bitch.
Wow.
I will get right to it and save the praise for the end. I am a 33-year-old female, and I have this friend I've known since high school. This year, one of our mutual friends got married in Jamaica, and we go to the wedding, dance all night, laugh, and the next day, we're hanging out on the beach. I am quietly reading one of Hill Harper's books, and the discussion turns to the wedding and what people had on. The girlfriend's cousin talks about who was inappropriately dressed at the wedding. She then describes a woman that basically had on the same dress as myself. Now, mind you, this invitation said evening wear. Don't be mad at me because you decided to wear a $5 dress from Forever 21 and I wore an evening gown. I let that slide and chuckled and continued to read. I guess they thought I had my music on, earphones in, and was reading. Because all of the women we were with decided to talk about me. Her hair was a mess. What is that even made of? And why did she decide to change her bathing suit? I like the other one better, and so on. I changed because I brought multiple suits that suit me. Now, I'm not a tongue biter and I'm in another country and decided not to get jumped or go to Jamaican jail. My friend comes up to me and says, whatever, I hope our friendship grows and I'm happy we've been cool for 20 years. Now I apologize for talking trash, not don't talk about my friend, but whatever. I just looked at her and kept it moving, and we're now back home and she wants to hang out and chill. This was 3 weeks ago and I'm not over it. Am I being petty or is this a normal reaction? I haven't spoken to her since and we have not hung out.
I got lost for a second.
At the end, I got lost
she started.
Too.
So I guess because I don't know.
What did she say? The friend came up to her and
she said, my friend comes up to me and says, whatever, I hope our friendship grows and I'm happy we've been cool for 20 years. Not, I apologize for talking trash. Not, don't talk about my friend, but whatever.
So basically, her friend came up to her like nothing happened, and that's why
Yep.
she's annoyed.
And so she hasn't talked to her friend.
Well, that's kind of her fault, though, because she didn't even tell her friend she knew.
Exactly.
Well, I shouldn't say it's your fault, because obviously
Well-
you're in a very weird predicament. So, personally, I don't know. You ain't just going to sit up and talk about me like that, and we're supposed to be friends. Like, what is that about? I don't know. You need to say
Especially at a
something.
destination.
her friend was in on it.
Yeah.
She was with the people that were talking, like they were all talking about her included.
Yep. There was a bunch of people. Her homegirl's cousin was there.
Oh no, that's not. I mean,
it was a wedding.
I if that happened to me, I would automatically know that wasn't my friend.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine sitting with a group of people making fun of my friend and being like, her hair's a mess, and
then to
What?
join in on it, and then
join in and then act like nothing happened later and say, I'm glad we've been friends for 20 years. No.
So I don't know if you were listening to the entire thing or half listening. If they all were talking about you, you need to let somebody know that you just don't like being discussed like that. If I don't know if maybe they felt like they were clowning, you just don't like to be clowned on, or whatever the case may be. Because everything that you're doing is for you. If you wanted to change your bathing suits and have your multiple evening gowns and all that at the wedding and be popping, then that's what you should do, and you need to walk confident in that. Now, with that said, people are going to talk, and you have every right to say, y'all don't need to be talking about me. And you have every right to say, don't talk about me in the future when we're doing stuff, because that's not fair for you to just be sitting up and for them to be talking about you and not to you about what you had on. That's where I'm at with it. I don't really, if that's your friend, then, maybe she'll be like, I'm sorry, and that wasn't the intent, or you can get a clearer understanding of what actually was being discussed. And maybe that wasn't, maybe they actually were talking about somebody else, and you feeling some type of way.
Maybe they misunderstood.
Right, like maybe they were talking about you for a period of time, and then they started talking about somebody else that was there, and you just didn't hear it switch over. Like maybe they were talking about and she switched her dress, the other one was cute, and then they started talking about, like, did you see Auntie Niecy over there, or whatever. Hopefully that was the case, and you just been. I don't know. Just talk to your
Something was
friends.
said.
Something was said.
Something was said.
But you're not gonna know until you talk to them.
And they said your hair was a fool and your dress was a fool at the wedding. You know that for a fact. Now, to me, seem like y'all in Jamaica,
Not
y'all
a
on
fool.
vacation. Everybody's hair gonna be messed up, right? Y'all on vacation, getting in the water. Y'all had this conversation at the beach. Who hair was looking right?
Right.
Okay. Second of all, they sound like some Facebook girls, right? So to me, on a petty note, I would just go on Facebook and blast them. Every last one of them. I would post pictures from the wedding and roast every single thing they had on and tag them in the status and give each, not one group picture either. Everybody gets be Oprah with the statuses. You get a status. You get a status. Everybody
Status
gets a
for
status.
you.
And roast every last one of
Oh
them
my
in a
God.
joking way.
And you can tag
And
them
that would
reactions
say you
now
do
too.
it with love. Like, don't cuss at nobody, but cuss about somebody. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Or you can
Yeah.
even post some of their bathing suits and how terrible they looked. Or you could just post something and say, like, this is what your suit was supposed to look like at the wedding, wasn't it, girl? Ha, ha, ha. Hope you having a good one. Just start raining on their parades and see how they feel for the rest of their
Putting
days.
baby pictures out. Them high school, y'all was high school friends. Them high school, them 8th grade dance, them Sadie Hawkins pictures. Pull some of that shit out and remind them that they still the exact same person they was back then.
Yes.
That's right. That's my advice on a petty note.
On a petty
And that's all I got.
note.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that helps. That sounds terrible. I can't even imagine.
So you sitting there and they just talking about you?
Your friends?
Like y'all at a wedding and they just talking about you right there. Like they not like joking with you or touching you or tapping you in or saying something to you. Like
Everybody
No,
drink
that
with a had
makes me
sand
so
in it.
uncomfortable.
Everybody drink with a had sand in it.
Dustin. Oh, well, I mean, hopefully you work that out, because that just sounds wild.
please and work it out as soon as possible, because if you end up on another trip and you were in Jamaica, so
Hide their passport.
you had to go
Never mind.
you had to go and sit with that and be somewhere else. You couldn't even just be like,
That's
y'all
the
bitches better
worst
shut
part.
up.
The destination wedding, she went back to her hotel all salty.
Not in Jamaica.
Mariah Carey wall sliding in the shower. That's terrible. Well, Hopefully you feel better soon. But you know what, though? This is...
It's a shame.
She said, right.
You carry wall slide in the
It's
I'm
a
trying
shame.
to keep it together. It really is a shame, though, and I feel bad for you, baby. So I say
had
just
fun.
roast them. Yeah, that's what you say. Roast them all and then post their video. Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
You know what?
That's going to be the title of this episode.
Anyway, let's knock out this Black Business of the Week.
Yes.
Part 2 of collecting business info at the Essence
Oh
Festival.
my God, we have like businesses for the next 10 weeks. From
Yes,
there.
we did.
I want to shout out Besida. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That's Besida. They're an Afro Sin chic clothing line, and it's all handmade in Nigeria. Me and Fran had the pleasure of stopping by their booth at the Essence Festival, and we got to meet Jasmine, who's a super cool fan of the show. So she followed up and emailed us, and she wanted to shout out her friend's business that she's been working to help her build. And this year, for the business, her friend is going to be building a solar-powered mini factory outside of Benin, Nigeria.
Wow.
She decided to have all her clothes made back in her hometown to provide jobs and be an example of manufacturing with respect to the local environment.
Oh,
She just
wow.
launched her summer collection, and she said she'd love for the FriendZone fans to be rocking her clothes, and the clothes are bomb. Now, I will say, I said to you at the booth, holla at us when you got the men's line, because, I would love to wear some of your stuff. Just really, really beautiful garments, and to be able to give back and to contribute would be so dope. So the name of the business, again, is Besida. It's Besida.
And I do remember the booth. It was the one in the corner, right? Yeah, it was really, really
Yes,
nice
it was
stuff.
that one.
I'm actually going to see if I can, because we have so many events in August. Hopefully I can grab something from there.
So
That'd be dope.
the website is Besida Online. That's Besida online.com. So go and check that out. She's got all sorts of things on there. There's also an Instagram lookbook, so you can look through all the pretty dresses and the colorful items that they have for you all. And again, you'll be supporting businesses out in Nigeria. So
love that. Fair
go ahead and
trade.
get with it. That's right.
Dope. I guess
Super
that's
dope.
it for this week's show. It was a long one.
It was.
It was.
Do you guys have any church announcements?
I
before we get out
actually
of
do.
here?
I have a church announcement.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
Now I know who you're talking about.
That's my church announcement. And I'll see y'all July 23rd on HBO at 10:30. Insecure season premiere part 2. Very excited about that. I'll also see you on the web series Sister. Very proud of that project with 5 Tier Media. I'm a very talented filmmaker and screenwriter out of Detroit named Dietrich Hicks. We collaborated on a project called Sister, a web series about 3 black girls who lost their mom and had to learn how to reform their bond as sisters in New York City. Play a guy named Dorian, who is a badass radio personality that is dating one of the sisters, and then come to find out, well, you got to watch for the rest of that.
Okay, then, Dory.
So shout out to everybody. I had fun. That's it.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm going to be taking it slow the next couple of weeks because I deserve.
Yes,
But
you do.
I do have pretty cool news that my tour was see, I can't even think. My brain is so tired. The tour will come back in 2018
Yes.
for round 2. Yeah, which I'm very excited about. And we finalized the cities this week.
Wow.
And we are going to hit the cities that we weren't able to hit this year. So next year, London, Toronto,
Yes.
Detroit,
Yes.
actually.
Detroit.
Detroit's going to get some love.
You
St.
gonna have Cash Doll
Louis,
there?
Boston. Cash
She can perform.
dead. So, so we'll be seeing a lot of you that we didn't get to catch up with this year. And I'm very excited to change up the tour with, all the new things we learned on this one. And we'll see you guys on the road
I'm
again
so proud
in
of you and happy for you,
2018.
friend.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. May it be bigger. May it be better.
Yes.
And cheers to all the miles that we are covering with all of our different projects. So that's it. That's it for me.
Yes. I am just laying low and building high right now.
Speak.
I have this website that I'm working on. It's becoming clearer and clearer. It was initially just going to be my music website where everything is going to live, but I'm kind of trying to make like this cool little music photo blog thing. So I'm working even harder on the website now that the big vision behind it is becoming clearer.
Yes.
So I said before that I'm going to be looking for some models pretty soon. I've actually had some people reach out. It's definitely going to be mostly men's project, but definitely a people of color project for sure. So just stay tuned. I'll keep you all posted on that and be taking some photos of some folks.
Yes. Well, that's it for us. As always, thank you so much for listening. We love you. Once again, thanks for keeping us on the iTunes charts. We
Yes.
were charted yet again. Thank you for the love, the comments, the push, the momentum, the 5-star ratings. Please
Thank you.
continue. And we will see you guys next week.
Stay
That's
black
right.
and protect your magic.
Bye.